validates and allows your lifestyle.
Yes. So really, this is her fault.
I told him to go to you next time. So
There's definitely some mooing going on.
Yeah, I think she's trying to communicate to this calf that he should, have some supper or something. But
is the calf not eating? Because that's actually concerning.
Yeah, it is. That's why I'm at the barn to watch and see if he does or not. We were making him earlier, but
do we need to put a keg on so you can teach the calf how to eat?
Yeah, maybe.
What you have to do is demonstrate so they can figure it out.
This is going to end with Cag flying up there and getting his face kicked. And I just want someone to have a camera.
I feel like that is entirely possible.
Then I'll make you a deal. If you go get your face kicked in Canada, I will let you shapeshift into a cow. So,
deal.
Not a bull. Not a bull. A cow.
Yeah, exactly.
Has Cag not seen a cow?
Not yet, but there's potential. Okay.
I kept out the wrong plate.
I feel like we should go to our academy's stables because we have ambient sound.
Yes, it's actually pretty nice.
There you go.
We should pipe in the sound from Felix's barn all the time.
All the time. Makes
It could be
total
arranged.
sense.
All right then. So, summary.
I was looking at this list here and I'm wondering who Respin was.
Oh, Respin.
That took me a minute. Longer than I cared to
It's
admit.
been a while. So, all right, so last time.
I love some of these names.
Pay less, apparently. Okay, so last time you guys went on a massive shopping spree. You met a drunken smith, an enthusiastic seamstress, an immuted, apathetic carpenter. You acquired a number of goods, primarily weapons and armors. You got a few potions and spell components. You acquired potions and enchantments, and you were told that the potions would take some time, but the mage tower said that everything in terms of enchantment would have to be cleared through the queen. You attempted to reach out to Lady Renestray, but she hasn't really heeded your request up until this point. Davi and Cog discovered and cured his assumed lycanthropy, so no werecow. Congratulations.
Wait, he's going to be a werewolf? Why did you guys... You guys should have let that one go.
No, werecow. No, he was going to be a werecow.
No.
Even better.
I know. I'm 100% invested in making that happen.
That's a minotaur.
It happened. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. But being that it was in the Underdark, I had my bets on Were-Rat. So yeah.
You'll never know.
Wasn't it an elf that did it to you? Were-elf.
The description was elfish. Yes.
At this point, Cog, you would know it was an Eldrin. She had kind of like elfish characteristics, but she was blue, likely, Wintercourt. You've seen enough of them. Yeah.
Good thing you're working for them now.
Yeah. Right.
And then Leo, you spent time researching the demonic sources. Just to kind of see what could be used with the bodies and this, that, and the other.
The juicy part.
So. Yeah. So with that, from now on, whenever you guys are rolling to see what you can harvest from them, we're going to let you roll with advantage because you've got, more working knowledge of this kind of stuff. So
Right.
He took an online course.
Yeah, exactly. You've got your
correspondence course
a week-long certificate.
Demon dissection associates now. So congratulations. You're the official backup.
I'll
Congratulations
a CAG where
on
you
your
can
graduation.
Okay, so all of the gear that you guys requested, it's about 3 days between your shopping spree and present time. All the gear, your quivers, your focuses, your weapons, your armor, your bags, your gloves, all that kind of stuff does make it. It's all delivered. With the potions, Cog, you end up getting 17 of the growth ones and 12 of the shrinking potions that he was able to work with.
Oh, wait.
Elrin, what?
Growth and shrinking.
I'm sorry,
17.
17 growth
Mhm.
and a dozen shrinking.
Okay.
Elrond actually sends a note with it apologizing, noting that a subterranean alchemist would have likely been more familiar with the materials, but that he's done the best that he can, given that, he knows of this component, but he hasn't actually utilized it before to make a potion.
And if the
Useless.
growth potion lasts for more than 8 hours, see a doctor and take the shrinking potion immediately.
See a doctor. There's so many doctors around.
I didn't remember if you guys, I know you asked for antidote. I don't know if you picked it up last time or not, or if they said they were going to send it over, but either way, you should have 3 vials. And then Urlith, you are sent a bottle of this kind of like murky gray colored potion, and it is labeled as a
What is
quiet
that?
potion.
Where did I get that from and why?
You guys, at last time when you were at the alchemist, you inquired of if you could get a potion that would make you quieter.
Oh, I did? That was me? I can't recall.
You failed.
ever.
We failed a couple of funny stealth rolls early on. That
Okay, well, all right. So
This is
there's
the
no
thing you
potion,
have.
Avi. What else am I supposed to have? Because I know that there were other things I was supposed to get, but I don't
You
remember
got,
everything.
let me see, I've got some of it. I don't remember, I don't think I noted who asked for what, but I know we ended up with 4 different sets of studded armor. You asked for a quiver and a focus.
I got some
think
studded armor. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Leo who asked for a bag with like waist pouches.
Just one big one.
Oh, okay. Somebody
the
asked for a
front.
bag with waist pouches.
Yeah, I think that was
Now,
one.
Yeah.
what do I do with the focus again? I remember asking for a focus.
You cast
It keeps
spells
you-
with it.
Yeah, you don't have to have components anymore to do your spells. So,
And that is on what kind of thing did we put that on? Because I know I didn't want a necklace. and I could-
bracers.
On the bracers.
On
I think
bracers.
my focus was the bracers.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I,
Well,
I mean, it makes sense
So-
for me too. So it doesn't
and I
matter.
think
Two
we did,
schmancy sets of bracers.
so we discussed this before, and I think the current like Dungeon Master's Guide says that Rangers can't use foci. They have to use a materials component pouch because they have to like use their hands to cast the spell.
Custed jerks.
Okay. So maybe that's how we got to the bag with waist pouches. Then this is what happens when I cancel in a week. Then I come back and I'm like, somebody got fingerless gloves.
That would have been me, probably.
I don't remember anything we ordered.
Yeah, it's been
Yes.
2 weeks. This is basically a whole new
Fearless
campaign.
got the fingerless gloves. So she
I
can
remember
wear
those. Okay, so one set, fingerless gloves, and then so I don't have a focus. I have a waist pouch, fanny pack situation.
Please let it be a green fanny pack.
It's
Like
not
lime green.
green. Everything that I ordered to complement Earlith's blueness.
We'll make
Okay.
it like a super chic, like steampunk little pouches kind
Yeah,
of.
that works.
You know.
Yeah, Leo
That
definitely
works.
ordered a fanny pouch.
Oh, Davi, like I mentioned in chat, you do get your still, but there appears to be no intention of him helping you with the forge. There's
Is there any
no
chance
sign
of her
that.
finding stuff to make her own and building it from scratch?
I will need to double check and see. I mean, I have no idea what builds a forge.
I have no idea either.
Yeah, you
Never
know.
know
so,
one.
so we'll look into that. Let me make a note for that, and then we will. Yeah,
I mean, if you go by your rules, it's like an anvil and a barrel full of coal.
you know.
That's all you need.
Okay. So we'll look into that one, and I'll let you know like over the week.
I mean, it might take time, but you know, she can
Yeah,
work
just
on
to
it a
start
little here and
gathering
there.
gathering
Yeah.
materials. You know, when it comes to like bricks
Stone
and
and-
stuff, yeah, you can
Yeah.
totally find people who can help you with that. So you can at least start gathering. You know, and if nothing else, you know, I'm sure that as you meet new people, you can acquire and start kind of
Yeah.
putting it together.
The anvil would be the hardest part, I think.
Okay. So, with all that said, before we get started, was there anything else that anybody wanted to accomplish over the break that maybe they didn't do last time?
I apparently had a bad dream,
What
and now I have like a seaweed and sand collection.
Well, you are about to have a new bad dream. So
Well, shit, guys.
so just wait. We're coming.
I would like to have discovered all the dinosaurs in the area.
Anyone other than Cog.
Cog found like a children's picture book full of dinosaurs.
If I
Just flipping
sketch
through.
dinosaurs, can I turn into them because I have now seen them?
I mean, are we?
That's a
do
good druid
dinosaurs
loop. At least draw
even
whatever you
exist?
want.
Can you just make a ruling that dinosaurs don't exist?
So
I'm pretty sure
Whose
she did say
side
they
are
were
you
extinct.
on?
100% on Gast's
Listen.
side.
I have told you that as you go up, we can reskin things, but
Yeah.
we'll work on that.
If I can get
Anyway.
a bigger dire
Horrendous.
wolf, I will stop asking. I promise.
We will make it work out. I promise.
Dire
If
wolf.
Leah,
Okay.
if Leah gets caught up on Critical Role, I feel like she'll be on board with dinosaurs.
Thank you.
I already have been to the scene where Sam turns into not Sam.
Scanlan.
Yeah.
Scanlan's turned into a triceratops. I've already been there.
Which is wonderful.
I
So
know,
you
it's
should-
hilarious.
That was hilarious.
Flawless plan.
Flawless.
So, Casta, that last question
Yes.
that I asked you in the message,
Yes.
you said that the books didn't give an answer, but would Jacobus know based on his infernal heritage? What the-
Actually, okay. So roll.
You're gonna have to roll for him.
No, I have a D20 with me.
Oh, that's so awesome. Okay.
One
Um,
He's gonna
We
get
don't
cow,
believe you.
he's gonna get cow shit on his D20, guys.
It's fine.
I'm so proud of you, Felix.
I really am too.
I mean, I just am.
roll a history check, which is gonna. Let me look up your sheet for you.
It's plus in.
I think it's a plus
I
4.
think so. Yeah.
Can I help him or anything?
Don't,
Yeah,
don't
well-
worry. It doesn't matter. I have no idea.
Okay. So unfortunately, you don't.
Felix rolled a 1.
I rolled a 3.
I will say that one of the names, the one that you encountered in the story,
Yeah.
rather than like the history, sounds familiar. But beyond that, you're not. You're like, I've heard that before, but you just can't quite put your finger on it. So,
All right.
okay. So then, Rafferty. As throughout the time, as one of your days draws to a close, you return to your quarters in the academy, weary from long, uncertain hours in a world seemingly devoid of time. You seek some reprieve in your plush feather mattress and satin sheets provided by the Unseelie Court. Certainly, no expense has been spared for the honored guests of the Autumn Queen, and yet, despite all of this regality and the absolute silence of the Academy's mansion, you find yourself restless. Burdened by questions, you feel the weight first in your stomach and then your chest, causing you to roll from side to side in an effort to relieve the pressure. And it seems to take hours for you to finally drift off, and now you find yourself rocked by the sway of a ship instead of your own anxious dread.
Oh, son of a bitch.
And you know this ship. You've walked its deck dozens, hundreds of times, but tonight it's empty, abandoned. The brilliant purple sails still billow in the wind, emblazoned by some emblem that you just can't quite seem to focus your eyes on. And the slow-paced boot steps start to approach you from behind, but when you glance over, you don't find anything, only open air, as the sound continues to trail to your left, circling with measured consideration. And then you hear a voice. Well then, if it isn't Rafferty the Rapscallion, enjoying your time in the Autumn Court.
I've had better.
And how are they keeping you occupied? Are you shoveling elk shit or powdering Her Highness's bosom?
I'm keeping a series of idiots from causing self-harm.
That sounds rather droll. Well, I hear that as of late you've found a name that you're rather fond of, one that you've been inquiring about. What was it again?
Got murdered this dog.
I thought that was a cow. I was like, what the f-?
No, it's our dog.
Dog who doesn't hardly make any noise all week.
He plays with a squeaky ball every Saturday at 8 o'clock.
Every Saturday night. I don't understand it. It's every Saturday night.
He's role playing, guys. He's
This
role
is the
playing.
only time he touches it.
That's swing.
I'm not going to say the name. I'm just going to say, in my defense, I haven't exactly gotten the most clear instructions.
Come on, Rafferty, tell me. What is this name that you've stumbled upon?
Lear.
That's the one. You know, it's funny how death works, isn't it? One day it's all sunshine and newts, and then the next moment you impale yourself on grandmother's knitting needle. That's the trick, the lesson that you still haven't learned. Mother always told you not to touch them because they weren't yours to play with, Rafferty. Anything can kill you, Rafferty, if I try hard enough.
Well, okay.
And with that, the boat groans.
Guys,
Shifting.
I'm
I
not
have
even
a new
involved,
weakness.
and I'm so afraid.
I know.
Apparently,
it's like,
anything can kill me.
oh, this is amazing.
With that, there's a sudden snap, and the boat groans, shifting sharply to its right side. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, come on.
Rafferty dies.
He's asleep. He has to make a dexterity saving throw.
Drowns in sleep.
Yeah,
This is
with
whether
this-
he stays in bed or not.
Yeah. Oh god, I'm gonna fall in my bed. Let me pull up my character sheet. I'm really prepared tonight. So just Dex.
Just dex. Actually, you could do acrobatics if you want.
What is wrong?
I'm pretty shit at that too. The hell, it's my dream. I'm gonna be
Okay.
fancy.
So, unfortunately, the movement catches you by surprise. And you feel your feet slip as your hip slams into the deck and you just skid down the lopsided vessel and shoot out into the water. And within seconds, you're completely submerged. You kick wildly, fighting for the surface, but the suction of the ship just pulls you deeper and deeper. You watch as the light fades overhead and your lungs begin to burn as the pressure of the depths just forces out your last breath. Then you jolt upright in bed, gasping for air. The ship's gone, the scent of the sea remains, and there's an aching on your hip from where you fell. There's also a light layer of salt that's crusted over your skin.
Hey, I know what it is
That's-
to wake up with your hips aching in the morning. I get it. That's me,
Beds aren't
not
as nice as they
Dobby.
seem.
Me.
Cag knows what it's like to wake up crusted in salt too. So it's
Diana.
We all have our
Okay.
kinks.
So, other than that, you know, you guys just kind of have the 3 days to hang out. Some of you have done some research, this, that, and the other.
you guys had a
Um,
better 3 days than I had.
So Dobby was
Um,
going to also just work on her temple.
Yes, and getting that assembled and everything. Which
Just,
doesn't.
I
Yes.
feel like Earlith wasn't doing much of anything. So I'm just going to say that Earlith was exploring the area,
Okay.
getting to know the things around. She's avoiding the library because she really doesn't want to go back down that hole.
Roll a charisma
Academic.
check to see if anyone likes you.
No.
I mean, I feel like
Then I'd roll
I
for
can
that.
do that.
No, but just kind of going through the town, you do get to, you know, kind of spend time and get to know a lot of the people, you know. And they're all, especially given that you are a dragonborn, they all seem very curious about you. You get a lot of questions, you know, about like, where are you from? You know, like, frankly, there are some kind of insensitive questions about like, you know, but like, are you warm-blooded? You know, like,
Yeah,
there's
have
definitely
you decided about that?
there's definitely a sense of curiosity about you. You can, you know, while everybody stands out a little bit in the town, you know, you definitely, you and Jacobus especially seem to be these exotics in this setting.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Um,
Earlith, so that works.
You
He
know,
likes
as
being special.
yeah, roll an investigation check.
Oh, I'm crap at that, but okay. Did it not do it? Oh yeah, I forgot. Woohoo.
Okay. So, because you are an outsider, people are not overly opening to gossip or offering you any information that might put them in a precarious position. But you do kind of get the impression that the Autumn Court is run as a tight ship. It appears
Can we stay away
that
from ship metaphors?
it appears that the Autumn Queen is not the best delegation. And a lot of things, like there was previous mention of an upcoming festival perhaps, and it always seems to come back to, well, whatever the queen decides, and she definitely seems to be this funnel point through which all action has to pass. But beyond that, it strikes you as kind of weird. It's like, well, when are you guys going to be getting in more pumpkins? Well, it depends upon what the queen decides. And you're like, that's kind of odd, but.
Yeah, because it seems like most leaders would have people to handle those day-to-day things. Yeah. Okay.
So that, that's kind of what you gather through your time.
Okay.
Anyway, come the third day.
Actually, one thing I don't know. I think I'd ordered like a leather belt thing.
Then that's totally there.
Okay, and I wanted to see if I could have fixed that sigil from the Rug of Smothering to that leather strap.
Wait, do you want to animate your belt? That seems like a
No,
great
it made like a 10-foot long leather strap thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Make an Arcana check for that.
And then make a deck save for when it tries to strangle you to death.
Yeah,
Yeah.
autoerotic asphyxiation mishap upcoming.
I'll watch.
No advantage?
Depends upon if you have anybody helping you.
I'm staying away
No.
from dangerous things. I'm not helping shit.
Okay, so you actually managed to do it pretty easily. It's the sigils, like I said, a little bit worn, but you kind of get back together, and you are able to attach a word of power to it. To just kind of like turn it on and off, so to speak, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So of whatever you're choosing, but yeah, you look it over at the end, and you're like, man, this is some fine work. I did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
So. Pretty confident in
Alright.
its ability to perform. So, okay. Anything else before we move on to present time? Okay. So then come, like shortly after you finish breakfast on the third day, you do have a light rapping at the mansion, the academy's door.
I will wait for the manservant to open the door.
God.
Really? Wow.
You wanted to start the dinosaur train.
Dinosaur train.
I mean, did we
Let's
hear
not. I've gotten over
knocking on the door?
It was years since I heard it. Let's not.
Wait,
Dab just had flashbacks.
I have a question.
Yes.
Where is everybody? I mean, would we hear the knocking on the door? Like, if we're all in this dining area, or
Well,
if we're
let's
out
see.
I mean, the door is way up here.
That's true. You may not.
Nobody hears the door. Adventure over.
All right. Everyone bring out your next characters.
Queen kicks us out.
Davi will go freaking answer the door. She was in her
Okay.
temple. How's that?
So you open the door, and there is an Autumn Eldrin standing there. He's dressed in, nice but kind of, hodgepodge leathers. He doesn't look like any kind of specific uniform. And he says, the council has returned, and I've been asked to bring you to a meeting.
Okay, let me grab the others and we'll be right here.
Waits
Oh.
outside.
Go find the others. Make sure I'm dressed in my nice little new clothes. And look all-
Yeah,
Spiffy.
I'm
She'll wear her robes.
Yes.
going to be dressed
Nobody cares.
practically, but
We care.
definitely fancy.
Oh my God.
Hey, I care.
Make your own
Thank you,
fan.
Leah.
Make your own fan art.
Hear this? And I care.
Yeah, we're definitely. I definitely put on something that.
Stomp, 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 stomp.
Okay.
I'm in PJs.
Well, it probably looks like PJs for anything you wear anyway.
With
That's
jeans.
true.
With jeans, because he invented those. I heard.
Yes. He invented denim.
Oh, that's the bird. I was like, what is this on the map? Okay. Okay. So, Davi and Eurolith go. Leo. Is everybody heading over?
Yeah, sure.
I
Yeah.
assume y'all go.
I love your
I'm going to
commitment.
carefully, very carefully walk into the room.
Okay. So he waits for you guys outside, and once you all kind of gather, he leads you over towards the council mansion that Leo had previously seen. The rest of you, it's your first time you enter, and there's a big open courtyard below, archways lining all walls. It's grass covered, and it's lit by these like floating globules of artificial sunlight. And it actually casts, shadows over this just like menagerie of marble sculptures. The sculptures are of, various races and ages and creatures. You have the kind of like half animal, half humanoid creatures you've encountered. You have
See,
Eldrin.
This was the shades of the witch's castle in Narnia, and that gives me a whole lot of pause. I'm just going to go ahead and say.
They are all extremely lifelike. And caught in, different poses. Some, appear joyous and celebratory. Others, frankly, appear horrified. And it's just this, garden of hedges and flowers and sculptures. And then in the center of the courtyard is a split marble staircase that's curving right and left and heading up. It is also
Deja
lit
vu.
by globules, by the same, little floating balls of light. And your Eldrin escort heads up the stairs and, motions for you guys to follow.
Does see the guard I saw last time?
No, he is not. As far as you can tell. There's, it's the
They all
Eldrin
look the
discrepancy thing. Yeah, they all look the same, but no.
That's horrible.
Yeah. The second floor is actually just this, vaguely resembles this because I am not an artist. Large marble room.
It looks like a white background with a black border.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just gray for me.
Man.
It's
Let me see.
I'll
probably
put this
fog
on
of
my
war.
fridge.
I guess I'd have to put all you guys on it, huh?
Or just turn
One
off fog
day.
of war, girl.
Okay, hold on. Doing stuff. Let me see. Advanced fog of war. Okay, how are we now?
Ooh.
Hey.
Okay, ignore the random chick. This is vague. This
But
is
I
vague
like the random
representation.
chick.
So you're not an artist?
Never
Not-
say that to your wife.
Take notes, says Meg.
So it's a large marble room, and it's pretty barren except for autumn banners that are kind of strung across the ceiling, and a long stone table and chairs positioned in the center. And then at the end, the end of the table, there are two stone thrones that are kind of at the head of the room. The walls, the windows are actually lined with these, very beautiful stained glass autumn displays, a lot like what you encountered at both the Luscious Luxury and your own home. Standing around the table in the center are 5 individuals, and all are watching the empty thrones with just very, dedicated attention. You immediately identify one individual who is Lady Renestray, and she does not acknowledge you when you come in. And, at least you think it's Lady Renestray.
I wait.
Her coloring is more familiar to you now. It's less golden and orange and has more of what you'd expect of like a high elf's coloration. Her hair still red, but it's less vibrant, kind of closer to Kaganos' shade. But the most startling difference is that there are actually 2 mounds peeking up from behind her shoulder blades that are framing her slender back, which you can kind of assume appear to be these like 2 like massive wings with the kind of a brown base color, and they're speckled with white, similar to a hawk's markings.
I thought she had back
feel-
boobs for a second. I was very concerned.
Feeling your gaze, Leo, she actually kind of glances sideways just briefly before locking her eyes over on the empty thrones once more. The other individuals who are present are unfamiliar to you. On the same side of the table as Lady Renestray is a young woman who has very high elven features, less severe than the Eladrin. But unlike her companion, Lady Renestray, she is pale. Her skin is drained to like this ghostly white, and she's dressed in this slender black lace dress. Let me link her. Oh my goodness, I will remember. Okay, there we go. Show to everyone. Okay. She's the only individual who actually acknowledges you when you come in. She looks you directly as you enter, and she's got these vibrant blue eyes, and she offers just this kind of small smile. You do notice that she has very pronounced incisors. She kind of, waves back to you. On the other side of the table at the head is a pale individual, but his skin is actually kind of bluish in hue. Show to everyone. He has long gray hair that trails down this kind of like ornate, but less ornate than what you've seen before, kind of silver plate. And though his head is turned towards the front of the room, just like the others, you notice that his gaze isn't set on the thrones in the same way. It looks almost like he's kind of looking out the window. He doesn't, he's looking in the proper direction, but he's not as, he doesn't appear as formal as the other individuals. He's definitely more relaxed in the setting. The next individual who is standing next to him, and the kind of bluish individual has Eladrin characteristics. To the left of that Eladrin individual, you find a person who has very peculiar heritage that you can't quite place. His coloring is elven, but his ears are longer, more akin to like an Eladrin. His facial features are softer too, speaking kind of more to like a half-elf or human heritage. He just kind of appears to be this amalgamation. It's really, really hard to place him. And as you wait, he too kind of like steals a glance at your party, and you're immediately struck by his bright, I found that fly cog, it's driving me crazy now. You're immediately struck by his like bright copper colored eyes. Oh my gosh. Okay. That shine in the sunlight like they're forged in metal. Oh gosh.
Go rescue her, Cag. Go rescue her.
Dude, it's like right on top of me.
Felix.
Dog get it. That's fine.
You're right.
Felix,
I
is
think
the
he's
cow
gone.
okay? Is the
No.
calf okay?
Did you get kicked? Your sound.
Oh, maybe. Hold on. Oh wait, Felix, not me.
Felix.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I didn't get kicked. I think it's gone.
The
I
calf
lost
is
it.
good. I did not get kicked.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
it's there.
I was
It's on
worried about the calf.
The climbing block. On this side.
He wasn't worried about you.
Willie, why
No,
of all
I
the
had to
ways
be-
to try to hit a fly would you do that?
I
Just
trust
go.
that
It's
Felix
fine.
knows how to handle a cow, okay?
Wait, just let me do it. Can you do it?
Carl, can you chase
Oh
the
my
fly in
gosh.
front of the camera, please?
Okay, thank
Please
you.
chase the
thank
fly in
you.
front of the camera. He wants to see this.
If you
Okay.
cast him with that fly swatter, he's
Oh
in
my
so much
gosh.
trouble.
This
Thank
guy's
you.
a very
I
defeatist
appreciate
name.
Now that he's gone, I will say he is like the worst fly swatter ever.
You know,
like
now
I'm
that he did that for you, he's going to come back and ask you for a new animal form.
Right? Can I turn
Can
into
you
a
turn into a
fly now?
fly?
Can I turn into a fly now?
Oh my gosh, there's another one. Okay, whatever.
Cog,
She's not gonna talk.
there's more cog. Go
Is
back.
it love bugs or is it flies or what are we
Flies.
There's more flies.
There's more flies.
Cog, there's more flies. Go back. Return.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No, seriously, stop. Tag. No.
Kill the
No,
flies.
we had somebody who worked on the garage door, so we got like a bunch of flies that came in, and they've just been like slowly moving through the house. It's driving me crazy. Anyway, this is what we get for living in a swamp.
Yeah.
Where were we?
Apparently,
Right?
you live in a coastal swamp.
So, okay, so individual with unsure heritage, copper eyes. And then lastly, on that right side of the table, you see a high elven man.
Did you assume his gender?
I mean,
She made
I
him.
ascribed his gender. with kind of like thinning blonde hair and light green eyes. He's strikingly handsome, as most elves are, but it's kind of odd because in his present company, he seems almost plain and comely compared to the other individuals at the table. Following the cue of the guards, they kind of motion you guys over and, or the guard to suggest that you stand behind the rest of the vacant chairs.
I stand behind the rest of the vacant chairs.
Yeah,
Just like-
I mean,
Yeah,
you can
I'm going
refuse.
I'm gonna pick the most unassuming chair and stand what I consider to be a safe 3-foot distance back from the chair.
I'm going to go
But-
sit by the guy with the copper eyes because he's kind of cool looking.
For not
Okay.
sitting.
Oh, well, I'm going to go
Abby.
stand behind the chair next to the guy
Davy
with
sits
the
in a
copper
chair and puts her feet on the
And
table.
Abby's immediately gonna fail a social roll. This will be fantastic.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stand next to Leo if nobody's there
Let's be
yet.
real. Whether
I
Dobby's
admit it.
standing or sitting, you can't tell much difference.
This is true.
okay?
This
She
is
actually she
gets a little
succeeded on
taller.
a stealth roll. You have no idea where she is.
So you guys all kind of line up behind the chairs, and you wait, and the silence in the room is palpable. Everyone is just very, formal at the moment. And after several minutes, you hear a creak of the door jam, kind of off to the left of the front of the room. And I need every one of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Shit.
Cog, Leo, and Rafferty, you have advantage.
Oh boy, we're getting charmed. Where is my
Cag,
character?
Leo, and Rafferty. How does Cag, Leo?
We're
Oh,
having,
we're
we're
elven.
advantage on
Okay.
the charm
Bay
spells.
Heritage.
Yeah. Yeah, I get special powers with this. It's really hard to enchant me, actually.
I failed.
Oh, with advantage? That's right.
Yeah, you got advantage.
Yeah, let me find the damn saving
That's
throw.
not better.
So I just click on the word wisdom all the way on the left side here.
No, you
No,
go.
the saving throw at the top
You have to do
right
it under
So-
of the things.
Yeah, so if you
Underneath
see
your
your
proficiency bonus.
stats, just to the right, there's a box that's under inspiration and proficiency bonus.
Above your
the
skills.
saving throws.
Okay. So for all of you then,
Oh no.
in walks a woman. who
Literally,
looks-
I did better than everybody. That is so awesome.
In walks a woman who looks shockingly, comfortingly like your own mother. While she's distinctly Eldrin, there's something about her that just kind of summons this deep, forgotten memory of your childhood.
Must be real
Protagonist for
confusing for your
you.
life.
For
That
you.
is very odd.
That looks like my
Her s-
egg.
Her skin has a warm kind of summer's glow from just hours spent in the farm field. Davi, she's a little more stout than you would expect from an Eldrin, and she's got just like this long flaxen wavy hair. Yurlith, you actually notice that along her cheeks there seem to be kind of these golden scales that raise up along her neck. She's draped in like this umber gauze gown that trails in her wake as she strides across towards the throne. She flicks her wrist at the light blue Eldrin man that's near the head of the table, and on cue, he rises and walks over and actually takes a seat at the throne by the queen's side. As they both sit, the other individuals slide into their respective chairs and wait for you to follow suit. Hey, Lucy. Assuming you sit. I never want to force anything on you.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
We
I'm
said
gonna
Go with
sit.
the flow here.
For sure.
Um,
Copperhead.
Did Sesnick die?
I'm here. I lost
Okay.
my connection to roll 20.
Okay.
Okay, that's okay. You're not going to need it for a while anyway. And so with that, as everybody sits, the queen actually snaps her fingers, and the guard who escorted you, moves from the back right corner, and he comes forward, pulling a leaf creature from the shadows. This blue reptilian beast is actually blindfolded, and it hisses like a snake with its snake-like tongue as it
That's no
follows
way
the
to talk
guard's
about it,
lead.
really.
I know, right? Seriously.
It's led over to the thrones where it lays down at the queen's feet. She bends forward and strokes the beast once, twice, thrice, maybe a dozen times, just kind of sitting in silence, waiting. Yurlith and Cog, make nature checks, please.
Nature. I hate that that's intelligence. Kinda wish it was
What are you
wisdom.
eating?
Why can't I click on this thing? No, fuck, it's not responding. Hold on.
It's official. All of Felix's kids are cute. Like, it's just...
Oh, 100%.
Roll 20 is not
That's
responding to me
good.
at all.
That's okay.
You're waving it.
Oh, her
Can you roll
voice.
for me, please?
Hi. Oh, yes, I can totally roleplay. I'm sorry. I got lost in Kid World.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
distracted.
Okay, nature check. Bum, 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 bum,
Apparently,
bum,
Cag
bum,
decided just not to roll a nature check.
bum, bum, bum.
No.
Okay,
Cat crashed.
well, that was you. Okay, Eurolith. You immediately recognize this as a basilisk.
Okay,
fuck.
okay then. All right.
So as she finishes petting, she kind of takes a moment and she studies each of you very closely and blatantly, with just this apathetic face, really studying your features, before moving on to consider her own counsel. Renestray, sit up straighter. We have guests, child. And Renestray does, her cheeks kind of get a little bit rosy and she kind of like pushes her shoulders back and tries to, really straighten her posture into a very formal affair. Her eyes continue to scan, settling on the mundane kind of high elven man. Feylaw, you couldn't have changed first. I saw you in those robes 6 hours ago. And he kind of looks down and he opens his mouth as if he's going to protest, but the queen just sighs and moves on. Very well. Who's missing then? Peleus is waylaid, I am told. He at least sent word. What of Nareen and Rodan? There's silence in the room. Nothing. They will be dealt with then. I see Dion is absent as well, though I assume you were sent in his stead, Elodie. And with that, the very pale elven girl that you noticed, the one who actually acknowledged you when you came in, her hands now kind of clasped nervously in her lap. She gives kind of a timid nod and she goes, yes, the Fomorians have been very adamant about reaching the surface. Dion is overseeing the placement of our people to ensure that the border is secured against any sudden surges. The queen kind of nods. Permissible. Then we begin. And she looks down at all of you at the other end of the table. What do we know?
All right, guys, this is when you break out all that great shit you figured out while I was drowning in my sleep. So
Wow.
Uh,
We're gonna let Leo take the lead there.
Why me?
You have the
because
fanny pack.
outside of Rafferty, you have the best charisma. Go for it.
You really want Davi to? You don't.
wait, so
So,
we're gonna try. Wait. So we know nothing, and we're gonna try to bluff our way out of this.
We know lots of things. I missed something. We were introduced. I had to step away.
As you guys hesitate, the individual, let me make sure. The individual, the high elven one, actually speaks up and he goes, there seems to be a correlation between the orcs and the demons that we have established. We hypothesize that there must be a hole or a weakness in the weave for so many creatures to be slipping through at such a sudden point in time. We don't know if there's an alliance or simply this simultaneous taking advantage of a phenomenon. The queen kind of nods and she goes, "Do we know where they're coming from then?" They appear. They're appearing across the land, Your Grace. As for their place of origin, I'm assuming the material plane. And Renestray chimes in at that and goes, "Orcs and demons don't typically inhabit the same plane." And she looks down to your end of the table once more. Correct me if I'm wrong in that.
No, if I may. We're just having arrived from the material plane. I believe that I don't know where the orcs are coming from, but the demons, I'm pretty sure, are coming from the abyss.
Orcs are definitely native to our plane.
Orcs are from the material plane, but the demons are not. In fact, what we have discovered is that somebody needs to be operating on this side to have the demons summoned, as in working to make the demons arrive.
The queen's brow raises at that, and she goes, "Is that so? Well, perhaps perhaps the Frost Queen's assumptions were true then, and there is either this is being done by the Sealy court, or there's someone that has broken an oath on our side." She then turns, and looks around once more, and she goes, "Do we know yet, if anything has caused this weakness, or what might be allowing them to get through?" Thalar kind of speaks up again. He's like, no. There's another moment of long silence as her gaze kind of lingers on him, her lips pursed with displeasure. "All right. How did our guests come by entry then?"
Involuntarily.
We arrived through who we now believe to be in one of your inhabitants here. It was not entirely intentional, but we are here and at your service.
Okay, I hope I see Leo's better at this than Tab is.
No.
I mean, I don't know enough. You guys have never actually told me some of this stuff, so I can't really step in and bail them out. And this is immensely entertaining.
Roll a persuasion check.
Shit.
I'm going based on the
Do I have
premise that
advantage?
everybody
No.
told me before we came not to say anything.
Oh shit!
Holy crap.
And her brow raises at that. "Is that so? It wasn't intentional, though. Who is it that granted you entry into the Feywild?"
We were on the material plane in the Underdark. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but she appeared as a dark elf on our side with her name of Brisa. Is that who it was?
Brisa. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brisa. Ah, Brisa. Such magic on such a massive scale to allow so many through seems far too high for Brisa and her capabilities.
She had seemed to have encountered quite a network of helpers and such on the material plane.
Truly interesting.
Also, there was a lot of, with the demons arriving, being summoned and such, there was quite a bit of latent magic around that she might have taken advantage of.
That is certainly something worth investigating then. We will have the hunt ensure that she has not broken any oaths to the court. She turns then to the individual with kind of the copper eyes and says, "Tell me, Veles, has there been any movement in the spring or summer courts?" And he leans forward, seeming much more at ease and casual, his elbows on the table. "Nothing. Their knights have been more active, certainly, but nothing to indicate a massive movement towards war or any sort of planning that could be aiding in this incursion." The queen nods. "Interesting. Well, perhaps they're waiting for our forces to weaken first before they find time to strike. What of the orcs? What have we? I know that we've seen them in small numbers. Has anything else come?" And Renestray speaks up once more. "The hunt reports that most of the sightings are still small bands, groups of about 6 to 8. They're appearing through both the Unseelie courts. Raids have occurred as far north as the Diamond Sea and as far south as the Morose Mire. There have been slightly more sightings in the northwest. Apparently, a group of them up there attempted to forge lodgings in the wood, but the Dryads quickly dispatched the Treants to handle that treachery." And the queen kind of nods and looks to Elodie and says, "In the Fomorians, they're more active lately, you say. And Elodie nods that, and she goes, yes, my queen. They persist in their efforts to overrun our keeps. Daily, they battle their way to the upper layers in an attempt to reach the surface, but we hold strong. Soon we will push them deeper and thin their numbers. That is our intention.
I'm
The
gonna
queen.
lean sideways to Leo and be like, "What language is she speaking?"
Sylvan, I assumed.
The queen kind of nods at that. Beset on all sides. Clever, Titania. Very clever. She looks back to your end of the table. Master McQueen, if that is your proper title.
Yes.
I forgot that was the name he gave.
I can't believe
Were
we
you-
have to live with this now.
Please, you can call me Leo. That's what my friends call me.
Leo. Very well.
And people who just generally know you.
People
Would
that
you-
you haven't lied to.
Would you care to take the time to introduce the members of your academy?
Oh God, I'm back to Elsa again.
Yes. And he stands up and points. Davi, this is V. She's a dwarven member of our thing, and she's a follower of somebody.
Whoever that guy
Martha
is.
Moore doing.
Yes.
And it's a nice, fine time to meet you all.
Everyone kind of dips their head politely, and the
I
queen
assume
lifts her
everybody's speaking
chin.
common, by the way.
Yes.
Okay.
The queen lifts her chin and inquires, and what is it that you bring to the academy? What is your specialty?
I am a healer and a follower of Martha Moore Doan. And I also tend to know a fair bit about history, stonework. My people, we know a lot
Interesting.
about quite a few things.
Very
We've been
interesting.
around a long time.
She drinks and she knows things.
Damn straight.
She knows things.
Excuse me, ma'am.
She looks over, gestures towards Rafferty. And this man, then?
This is Rafferty. Did you ever say it was just Rafferty? I don't know the last name, right?
Yeah, but at least
Rafferty.
it's a real name, so it's...
Who we actually encountered here in your domain, and has helped us arrive at the Autumn Court from travel. So he's a fairly new member to our group.
She tilts her head at that. Curious, how then did you come by entry into my court?
I'm going to take like a nice calm drink of a little wine, try to disguise then a little handshaking.
Cold
Who said
sweats.
that was wine?
I'm just going to assume that this table would have some wine on it, right?
This table totally, yeah. It's got wine. Pitcher, yeah.
Is there ale for Davi? Because please let it be so.
Totally ale. We'll say, yeah, we'll go with ale. So, as well. Just a couple
Yeah.
pitchers in the middle. It's
Yeah, I'm
it's
just
not
gonna-
important. Too much alcohol. So,
All right, and I'll just say, in the interest of being fully honest before the court and kind of bowing my head, I was brought here by someone from in this realm for a purpose that's not yet clear to me.
that does not bode well. Do you know who it is? I mean, surely you know who it is that's brought you.
I may have heard a name or two. Nothing that I'm quite sure of yet. I'll make a roll on that if you want.
Sure, you can make a persuasion check.
Yeah, it's social character. Let's.
Roll a 1, we all die.
No, you won't die. I'll die.
He gets hauled straight off to jail.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Cessna
he
comes
dies
back.
because everything kills him, I heard.
No, I'm good at persuasion,
go.
guys.
Okay. Is it a circumstance then that you have made a deal with someone in our court, and that is why you have found yourself in our realm?
Oh man, this is a tough one. I'm tempted to call like an academy huddle over this question.
We don't know. It's a yes or no question. Answer to it.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know the answer. Hey, if you ask Dobby, she's going to tell everybody everything. So careful what you ask for.
I know.
There
right?
was a fair exchange, yes.
I'm going to require your word then that you come here bearing no ill will to my court and its people.
I can give you that wholeheartedly, and I'll stand and I'll make an oath of it.
Very well.
Yep. I
Given-
personally bear no ill will towards your court or your people.
Given those circumstances, you will be permitted to reside, but should this go astray in any matter, I want you to know that I will not hesitate to have the hunt ensure that your oath is fulfilled.
Which one? Oaths for days, guys.
Pick one.
All of them.
I mean, it's a pretty bad thing to break any of the oaths, so just assume all of them.
Well, that's the thing. I've got an oath over here. I've got an oath over here. What if those are at cross purpose? Do I just explode?
Sucks to suck.
I'll take you all down with me.
What is it?
No.
What is it that you bring to the academy then, Rafferty?
Well, out of all of the people here, I have the most experience being here in the Feywild and knowledge of some of its customs and peoples.
Interesting. A guide, very wise. And she looks back to Leo. Next.
This is Miss Elsa Jean.
These names.
She dips her head just slightly to you.
And I'm going to do the same and, not say much or anything at all.
And everybody at the table kind of nods to you, but you notice that that the copper-eyed individual, Veles in particular, is studying you very closely. It's kind of a look that you've kind of gotten used to at this point because you are, kind of an oddity in these places. But he's got just kind of this like hint of a smile as he watches you. It's not the same kind of creepy smile that Craig was giving you. It's almost like
I don't think anybody can do that.
it's almost like amusement, kind of like, huh, The queen looks at you.
It's not polite to stare.
And he kind of chuckles at that, Davi, just genuinely seeming a little more at ease and jovial than everybody else at the table.
I sat by the right guy.
The queen looks at you, Yerlith, and says, Elsa Jean, and what do you contribute to this squadron of curious individuals?
Show her your fingernails or claws.
I'm fabulous.
Well, aside from being generally fabulous, I am. What would a good way to put this be? Hold on.
I have a
I'm not
tail.
responding yet. I have some knowledge of moving about in natural settings. I do also have some other education from my youth that makes me useful in things. But mostly
I went to school.
Mostly,
Given the time period, I imagine that's a pretty big deal.
Well, true.
mostly I have a knowledge of natural places and am good at things like going out in the wild and things like that.
Oh, that will certainly serve you in this court then. Very wise. Very
Guys,
wise.
I have a very fresh, hot take on this entire scene that I'm posting in Discord.
Oh God.
She looks back to you again, Leo. Who else then?
This would be Bob Barker.
She looks.
I really
over
like
to you,
that Casta made all this very permanent.
Thanks, Leo.
I give her props. She really screwed you guys on this.
I love it. I think it's awesome.
She looks over to you, Cog. Bob. And what is it that you offer this group?
Can I do a
That
check
you
to see
do.
if I know any? I mean, obviously, I know like polite exchanges between elves. Do I know anything about exchanges in Feywild court?
Sure. You can do an Arcana check.
I was afraid you say that.
Roll good. Roll good.
That's okay.
Half-assed.
Unfortunately, you don't know a whole lot about Feywild court formalities.
Okay, we'll go with that one. That's fine.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm going to stand and in Sylvan introduce myself as.
okay.
Ready for this? Buckle up, for those of you who understand Sylvan. The Druid
Nobody.
Kagan of Silverwood, Sentinel of High Forest, Sworn Fang of Morgwise, Lady of the Wood. And, do whatever formal bow elves do or whatever.
Nobody there speaks Sylvan, so
Okay.
nobody understood you.
So as you do that, her brow slowly raises, and she looks to you, considering you for a long moment, and responds in Sylvan, "Welcome home, my child."
There's gonna be a long pause, and he's gonna smile very deeply at that, and say, "Thank you, my queen," and he's gonna seat himself.
And she's going to consider him for a moment more, with just kind of this curious smile, and look back before looking back to Leo again. Next.
Is it just Jacobus? Did everybody else?
Yep, I think so. Pretty sure it's just
And I got a gesture with Jacob and says, "This is our infiltration specialist," and I think he can introduce himself.
I say go, Jackie.
Are you throwing bottles at people? Keg, what the heck are you doing?
Oh, the dog keeps bringing me her toy.
Okay. I was like,
I was wondering what hit my door.
Appa, come here.
The name is Jacobus Adrian.
And would you be the specialist on the abyss then?
I am, yes.
She kind of nods that. Roll a persuasion check.
Oh, come on.
That is really unfair.
Can I-
I couldn't
can
tell
I,
anything that wasn't true. She knew
Can
better.
I assist
How
him?
about
Oh!
All right.
There's some
Queen
sheep.
likes us, okay?
And she considers you, taking a little bit of time to really look over your features, seeming very fascinated. As she notes, I would be very curious sometime to learn of your history, how you came to be in the company of such people. To my knowledge, we've never had anyone like you in this court before. So, very, very curious indeed. I'm sure you are a very essential aspect of this operation that you're running.
The queen is going to be pulling him in her room tonight.
Oh my goodness.
She leans back.
He's not the only one horny at this table. It's
Oh my gosh. She leans back, looking once again to Leo.
Don't do
Master
that when I take a drink.
Master McQueen, I trust that you were able to acquire everything that you need.
Yes, we are quite situated. I don't
Very
believe
good.
everything has been delivered yet, but it's in the process, and we thank you for your hospitality and generosity.
Well, should you find yourselves lacking in any way or in need of something out of the ordinary, perhaps, that you're not able to acquire, please let
There
me
was
know. and we'll-
only one thing. We paid a visit to the Mage Tower. They said they would need the permission to open their store or to see what they have to offer us. And
This
if
is
you
true.
would be so kind, we certainly would find it helpful.
Perhaps once you have demonstrated your prowess at helping us cull this demonic incursion, then we can see if we can provide you with some of the more fine specialty items of the Autumn Court. They're very preciously guarded.
Oh, certainly, I don't mean to impose. I just there was nobody there to explain to us exactly how it was about, so I wasn't certain it was just a common storefront or something.
No, there's no
Your
harm in
personal
asking. Certainly,
store.
yes, we will take this into consideration. Very well then.
With that in account, is there we have been kind of out of the loop since we got here, except for chasing the things we have encountered. Is there anybody can update us on the current situation as far as abyss incursions are going?
Actually, Master Yurnun has volunteered. He says that he currently has a lead that he would like to investigate, and he would like to accompany you on your first pursuit to see where the encounter leads you and exactly what you were able to accomplish and what aid you might be able to be to the court.
And what does Master Yornan specialize in?
Master Yurnun is one of the huntsmen.
I know my people, and I can ensure that they stay safe. But I would feel bad if any member of your court would come in danger.
Oh, I assure you, Master Yurnun will be able to handle himself in any circumstance.
Now that's good. I'll be glad to have him.
Very well then.
I was thinking yearning. You're like, that's terrible.
Master Urine.
Wow.
Very well
Don't
then.
ruin Casta's fine NPCs.
I think she's doing a fantastic job.
From now on, everybody's Bob, George, Fred.
Yeah. Everybody's like, Elodie. Elodie. This is Steve. His parents didn't like him.
Which, for the record, is Tab's favorite name because every time I call him from work, Steve's Body Shop.
Very well then. I suppose the first thing that we will need to determine is, and she looks back to the council as a whole now, first thing we need to determine is how are the orcs and demons getting in. Phalar, I expect more of you next time we have this conversation. Divert all of your resources from all other matters and do what you can to see if we can discover where the hole in the weave or whatever is occurring. Master McQueen has specified that they must be receiving aid from somewhere over here. I have seen no sign that anyone in our court has broken any oaths, so I assume that the Steely are to blame.
Any entrance of any demons we saw in our... Why am I getting echo? Okay. Any entries that we saw in the material plane was often accompanied with the sacrifice of life or great gathering of power to make them be able to cross through the planes. So
Interesting.
while I have not seen it on this side, on your plane, I would imagine it would be the same thing. So I think it can be assumed that somebody on this side is working as a beacon to at least start with guide them through.
She points to Veles at that. Veles, I would like you to keep an eye on our skies as well, then see what you can determine if anybody has been erecting any odd structures, performing anything, any kind of nods. It'll be difficult because of the canopy, but I'll see if I can notice anything out of the ordinary. We'll keep an eye on that. Thank you. We appreciate the lead. Beyond that...
Also,
yes.
It would be helpful, I know I've heard in the autumn and winter's courts both have issues, but if we can find out if the summer and spring court are suffering the same issues, that would probably be very helpful.
Veles, and she nods to the copper-eyed individual once again. Another thing for you to consider then, see if you can spot any orcs or odd creatures on that side to see if they are suffering from this incursion as well, though if they are not to blame for everything. I'm not certain who would be. I hold my doubts. I am hoping that when you venture with Master Yernan, as you will be more educated on the matter, you might be able to spot whatever it is that you're looking for that might give us some clue as to how they're getting in. He has some knowledge on planar travel, but his abilities are more innate. But perhaps he can offer you something in that respect. Very well then. She looks over.
Before she gets
Yes.
up, I'm gonna say, Your Grace.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. Gonna let that sorry out before I do this. As I am assisting this endeavor by your court, might I ask you a single question?
You may ask.
Is there any advice you would give someone who's made a trade along the lines of what I have?
Well, that would require me to know the nature of your trade, wouldn't it?
Perhaps that is something I could tell you in confidence.
Very well. Perhaps we
Leah's
can
gonna
arrange.
look at him skeptically.
Perhaps we can arrange a time to hold this discussion, though I fear at the moment there are more important matters afoot.
Of course, and I would appreciate any courtesy. And I'll bow.
And she'll just kind of study you for a moment before looking over to her left, where the blue Eldrin male, who has just been completely silent through all of this, continues to sit. He's actually kind of slouched in the throne, and his gaze is cast to the far corner, kind of in boredom. But the queen reaches out and kind of places a hand tenderly on his forearm, kind of pulling him from his thoughts. You're so sullen when there is such promise afoot. Is there anything you would care to add, dear one? And he, kind of forces just this very faint smile, and he goes, Only one. What of Lear? And the queen purses her lips with that, and she kind of forces the corners up in this kind of strained smile. Yes. What of Lear? Sweet, darling Renestray, have you heard from your lord? And Renestray, given her wings, she hasn't been able to sit back in the chair for the entire meeting. She's always kind of been sitting a little forward. But with the acknowledgement, you watch as her posture gets even more tense and rigid. And a blush kind of comes over her cheeks once more, and she says, I know the guards of the northern border. I know he guards the northern border with due diligence, my queen. He has said nothing of demons nor orcs in the region, and given that our domain is largely aquatic, I imagine that we will find few intrusions beyond the occasional scuffle along the coast. I will send word to him, though, requesting an update on behalf of the Frost Prince, if it would please you. And the queen glances over to the Frost Prince with this warm, reassuring smile. It isn't returned by him as he continues to, as she looks back to Renestray. She says, we can ask nothing more, given your burden. Thank you, Lady Renestray. Very well, then. And she looks at the rest of the council. Is there nothing else? All of her council members sit silent, and she looks to you in turn. Very well. Then there are other matters I must attend to. I will summon you when news, or if there is a need to reconvene. You're dismissed. And she rises, and everyone at the table stands as she does. She leaves through the same door that she entered, and without beckoning, the Frost Prince actually rises from his throne and follows in her wake. Once the door is shut behind her, you watch as everyone else in the room visibly relaxes. Some people kind of roll their shoulders, a few people, kind of like, stretch their neck from side to side. The only exception to this is the curious figure with the copper eyes, who didn't, frankly, appear tense during any of it. And the moment that they're dismissed, he nearly leaps from his seat, and he kind of scurries around the table over to you, Yerlith, and he leans in. Good evening, Dragonborn.
Damn it, I was talking to him.
He likes tails, okay? It's,
Stealing my people to talk to.
Hello.
It's been some time since we had one of your sort in our midst. What majesty, what innovation. Life does find a way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
life
does.
finds a way.
Yeah.
So there's dinosaurs.
Oh
So
my god.
He continues to study you, but it isn't awkward. It isn't the, kind of the hungry eyes, like I said, that Craig had. It seems almost childish. He's just incredibly curious. Everything about you, he visibly peeks around and kind of, looks at your tail, and it's just kind of, like looking at all your different features and stuff, and he just kind of
Does he
grins
seem
widely and shakes his
young?
head.
Does he seem young in comparison to everybody else there?
Roll and are you inquiring about look or demeanor?
Both.
Okay.
Both, kind of.
Roll an insight check. It's hard to tell. But he doesn't look childish. He definitely looks like an adult.
Okay. But he doesn't seem to act quite like one.
No,
in
he
comparison
is
to everybody else.
He is definitely relaxed and a little jovial, lighthearted, but yeah, he doesn't strike you as literally youthful. And he kind of, after a moment, he kind of steps back and gives you a more proper personal space. I'm afraid that I have business to tend to today, orders, requests from the Queen and such. But I must ask, would you like to join me for tea sometime?
Ooh.
I suppose there would be no harm in doing that. Certainly.
Davy wants to roll an insight check to see if he's into her. She thinks he's into her.
Calgary
Roll
Oh
an
my
insight.
god!
Is this
Craig was
Roll an insight
obviously
check.
into
he
her.
asking her out?
Roll an
Yeah,
insight check.
Ooh, homegirl.
Oh!
Yeah.
Worthless rolls to crit on. Oh my god.
So,
Is the dude really into the dragon girl or what?
He just wants to get into the dragon, okay?
so I am actually going to PM you, honey, because holy crit.
Last time this happened, I
so
cured somebody of
unfair.
lycanthropy.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe it'll keep me protected. That'll be good.
Maybe I'll keep you from
Always
I'm
use
just saying.
protection, Leah. Always.
Yeah.
Leah
And
and
it's
Leah,
good you guys got Davi on your side. Is all I got.
we've already had one random person drug the tea. All right, I'm just throwing that out there.
You know what? I'm gonna say you should absolutely come to the academy and join us for tea one day. There,
Or
that
ale.
makes it. Yes, or ale, because Davi's brewing up a storm over there.
Oh, that would
What's
be
that?
wonderful. I would love to do that. Thank you for that invitation. I would love to come and hear. To hear everything, frankly. But I suppose a few facts will suffice. Thank you very much. I will tend to what needs tending to then, and then I will send word, and hopefully we can arrange something.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Was I supposed to get a whisper?
Yes, I'm working on that because I can't multitask.
No problem.
Okay. Okay.
I
Conversation.
decided to go on the safe side and invite him to the academy instead of going somewhere else.
I love rolling natural 20s for crazy things. It's fun.
Trying to
Lord
think
have mercy.
how to tactfully word something.
Davi is gonna have to pull Earlith aside for some girl talk or something because
Yeah. Oh, she's gonna have you dressed up. It's gonna be great.
oh god, no, she's worse than it's worse than I expected. I thought maybe she would warn me.
Well,
But
she
alas,
might do
no,
that
she
too,
wants-
but you know.
there we go.
She's gonna take care of her homegirl. Don't worry.
You coughing?
This is where you guys are supposed to do the ad for D&D Beyond.
Yeah, right. Exactly. D&D Beyond.
Look at this! Get out of here, Tab!
Gosh.
He was trying to find
That's
out
the
what
other
was
thing they used to
happening.
do. Okay. All right. So, okay. So while all of this is occurring, while he's kind of hopped up and moved over to Eurolith, the pale woman, Elodie, takes out a veil and actually, covers her head, and, kind of gives you all a light nod, and then moves to slip down the stairs, unless anyone pauses.
You have a really pretty dress.
She turns and looks through that. Thank you. It is one of my favorites. I shows it. This is actually my first time in court, and I was a bit nervous, but thank you. I very much like your dress as well.
Thank you. I went and got new robes just for this.
And she smiles, and once again, you notice the extremely distinct canine teeth that she possesses. Roll. Let's go with a religion check.
I'm getting in on this roll.
I just want Elodie to keep talking.
Can you
Okay.
can you threaten to taunt us a second time?
What does your father smell like?
Davi and Rafferty, I mean, you were definitely picking up between her pale skin, the incisors and everything. You're definitely picking up a little bit of a vampiric
Vampire.
vibe here. Yeah.
She seems
So
nice though.
it is a well-lit room. There is sunlight present. Listen to me. And despite the veil, she's not shying away from it. It's not fitting all the pieces that you're familiar with. But yeah, there's definitely a reflection occurring here of some sort. There's some tie here. And it's, as she compliments her dress, she goes, well, it was very nice to meet you. Perhaps
Very
we
nice
will
to
meet
meet you too.
again in the future. Should you ever travel to the Feydark, come by. I will, I will show you around, and perhaps we can converse.
That would be lovely. Thank you.
Who was she there?
It's
in
like the
place of?
Underdark, only nuts.
She was there in place of Dion, Dion, who she said had remained in the Feydark, trying to help situate troops to push back the Fomorians that had been trying to press towards the surface. Meanwhile, Phalar, as everybody was dismissed, he, made a pretty quick bustling exit. And that leaves only Lady Renestray in the room, who kind of waits on everybody else to leave, and then she turns to all of you and she's like, well, there you have it then.
Thank you very much for all of your help.
I wish that there was more I could do. If there is any way that I can assist you, then please let me know. I trust that they are bringing you enough food, and they're providing you with the essentials that you require. Okay, good.
Did we do okay? I mean, did everything go okay? I don't know your customs as well.
She kind of looks back over her shoulder, definitely appearing the most uneasy in this setting, even more so than Elodie. And she goes, it is hard to tell, but I think it went well. I think it went well. So, yes. Do you know where to find Yernan when you would like to seek his aid?
No, we don't.
He will be at the Huntsman's Hall. It's actually in the Hold on. I gotta look at my map. Hold on.
Northwest.
Northwest portion of the I totally trust Tab.
I have no idea.
The northwest portion of the city. It is kind of a long hall-like structure. He should be there as well as the rest of the huntsmen. Should you have any trouble finding him, anyone generally in the city should be able to direct you towards that location.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. Well, I suppose I should go check on my domain then. I will see you soon. And she moves out rather quickly. Definitely seeming more nervous and off her game.
Who's this
than
that's
last we
leaving
encountered
us?
her. Lady Renestray.
Before she goes,
Yes.
Lady Renestray, a word.
Yes. Oh, all right. She moves over.
So I never want to make someone look bad in front of the queen. That's not my. It seemed to me like perhaps you have not actually heard from your lord lately.
Roll an insight check.
Oh, it had to be insight? Really? I could just lie to myself, maybe.
Is Davi overhearing this?
It looks
That's
like
not
you
that
left your
bad
hand.
for a completely unskilled insight check.
She stiffens again at the question, and she definitely looks uncomfortable. He is not the most forthcoming. That is true. The queen is aware of this, of course. Though I have heard from him. It was some months ago, but the last that I heard, indeed the borders are safe. That to my knowledge.
Well, if it becomes necessary for our purposes, we may need to speak with him as well. And if there's a way I could aid you in that, I would be more than happy to help.
I appreciate the offer. I fear that if it were so easy, then perhaps the Admiral would
I have to pause this. My wife just got back and it's raining with groceries. Be right back.
Okay. All right. Bye. Okay. So anyway, so she tells Rafferty basically that that's easier said than done. And then very quickly takes the opportunity to excuse herself from the conversation. Definitely, she's very clearly uncomfortable to anyone paying half a bit of attention to what's going on. So you guys are left alone in the council room.
Anything look valuable?
Oh my gosh.
No,
This
no,
isn't
no,
Skyrim.
no. We are going to push him out of here.
This is the place that they physically removed Leo from
Gave
the
you
other day.
I didn't get this
everything
far.
you could ask for.
No
Is
problem.
the basilisk still in here?
You can Skyrim all the cups, there are like 6 pictures.
Get the bag of holding, just walk down the table, just drag an arm in it.
It's actually really barren other than, the banners and stuff.
If I put down the hole, can I tip the throne into it?
You can certainly try.
No, no, and no. Davi will drag him out by his ear.
Jeez.
Now that it's point, nobody charges for anything in this stupid place.
How tall is Earlith?
Earlith is about 6.5
6'5".
feet tall.
Holy cow! Davi comes up to like her knee.
Yeah, which is kind of hilarious. But yes.
I had this picture of her walking over, linking arms, doing the girlfriend thing. No.
I mean, we can
Stick
do
his
the
arm
girl
around your knee.
but
Okay.
definitely-
Davi, let go.
Davi needs a step stool.
That was like a boob shelf.
She'll go over. Jackie, put me on your shoulders so I can talk to.
Not gonna do it.
Damn it!
How tall is everybody?
I'm gonna.
How tall is Jacob?
6 feet.
Okay. Leo's 5'8", apparently. I made up at some point.
How tall is Gag?
I don't think Kag has a height. Does Kag have a height?
He must have a
Tallish.
height. He exists.
Dobby's 4'2".
I think Kag is 5'10" or so.
Wow.
Lower 5.
Rafferty would be somewhat tall, too.
Oh, I never showed the
So
Autumn
I-
Queen thing.
Tall,
but
I
it's helpful.
tower over
Giants,
everybody.
That doesn't look like my mom.
Well,
She's a
I
vampire,
think
she doesn't go in
the idea
pictures.
is that she kind of probably has a
It's like a gleamer or something.
just like an aura that.
Impression.
All right, so huddle, guys.
Yeah, let's huddle somewhere.
You're gonna
else.
huddle down to me, man.
We
everybody
stick
needs-
Dobby in the
I
middle
assume
of the
we walk
huddle.
out of the
I mean, I'm gonna.
Let's
assume
leave the mansion
that
and
the
gather
walls
outside.
are here.
God, turn into a bear so I can be normal height.
We're gonna leave the mansion, all gathered up outside like a class on field trip.
Put Dobby on my shoulders.
Okay, so you guys head out.
He's my hero.
Where's the hunter's lodge to start with?
Right, the Huntsman's Lodge is over here at the Wild Hunt Keep.
I was close. There's no
Is that
compass
where
in this. That
Master
could be
Urine is?
the northwest. All right.
The
So,
other northwest.
does anybody have anything, suggestions for anything to do before we go talk to this Urinin guy? Because, I mean,
We should watch Aerolith, hang with this dude.
Well, he's got other things to do. He's gonna send word when he's free from his task from the Queen. So that's not an issue.
Irlith can date on our own time.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Are
no,
we back at the house yet?
No, we're outside.
no, we're gonna go to the Huntsman's Lodge, aren't we? Because don't we want to go and find some adventure?
No, we live here now.
I know, but I want some adventure.
I'm gonna sign up for evening classes. This is the rest of our game.
Dobby's gonna go on Earlith's side.
Gotta find a book club.
Come here, Earlith. Come here. Earlith. Come here.
I'm going to
So-
stoop down to
Thank
Dobby.
you. Thank you.
Kneel down.
I'm on Cog's shoulders. We're good. So Cog gets to hear this too.
Okay, so I'm barely going to stoop. I'm just a little bit because Cag is still shorter than.
I'm gonna call foul on this. Cag has like a -1 strength modifier.
Yes, he does.
Kag now moves at half speed.
So I don't think he's looking and interested in you that way, but dude, he had gold scales.
Did he?
He did. I wonder if he's
That's
one of
very
you. Do any of your people have gold scales?
I mean, there are gold dragonborn naturally. Actually, there is more likely to be metal ones than not. But no, I don't know. I've never seen one
He
like
had
that.
gold scales. I saw him. So,
Well,
just so
that
he's really
yeah,
fascinated with you. He thinks you're really cool, but it wasn't like anything bad. Not like the other little satyr guy that was driving us nuts. You
yeah,
can
he
relax.
was a little bit crazy. Okay,
Yeah, but
thank
I
you
think
for
he's got
that.
something. You got some common heritage or something maybe going
Maybe.
on.
I
I am back.
Yearlith, roll a history check.
Okay. Can anybody help me with this?
This
I
one is
mean-
all on you, unfortunately.
Damn.
Couldn't Davi help?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
Dobby could help.
Oh, good. So I
That's
can roll
fair.
with advantage.
Here's-
Okay.
Yeah, you
If
can
they
roll the-
coordinated. No, there
Yeah,
you go.
because
Thank
you're
God.
in the conversation together.
So Sam
Okay.
+4 history. So
So, to your knowledge, you've never heard of a gold dragon, so to speak, but they're brass and they're copper, and there are a lot of possibilities. You do also know that more powerful dragons are able to take humanoid forms. So your interest is definitely piqued. by this. You've never encountered like a half dragonborn per se, but they're definitely it is definitely enough to make you. But I mean, this is the Feywild too. You never know what's going to be different here. But it is definitely enough to be like, okay, so there's definitely this guy is
Interesting.
definitely. Yeah, it's no longer any wonder that he is so, intrigued by you. There's definitely something shared here.
Okay, so question.
Mhm.
Is something like a half dragonborn even possible? Or dragonborn able to
Let's find out.
no, let's not. Are they able to intermix with the other races? Because I mean, I don't even know if that's a actual possibility.
It's for science.
So, that's not like, to my understanding, there aren't any like pre-established stat blocks for that, but it wouldn't be something that I would rule out either. I'm gonna let's go with they're not common.
We
But,
just that's your world. You just make it up.
Yeah, I know, right?
Screw Forgotten Realms. It sucks.
Yeah, we just spoke to a fairy drow with a French accent. Okay.
Okay, well, did you catch the part where dude that was checking Earlith out has gold scales? So
I had to go help with groceries.
I
I meant to
know.
wrap it
That's
up.
why I was filling you in.
I forgot what the last thing you asked
Copper
Renestray
scale.
was.
Sorry.
I asked her if
That's his eyes.
she needed help or getting a
Oh.
message to him. Yeah.
Yes. She said, she basically responded with, if it was that easy to get him to come or appear or respond, then we would have done it already. And just pretty quickly tried to beeline out of that conversation with you. It was kind of a response of like, good luck.
Well, I'm like, help is offered. If it comes to that, you know where to find me.
Yep. And she's definitely doing the breakaway, and trying to cut the conversation short. So
Leo
there you
heads
guys
towards the Wild Hunt Keep.
okay.
Executive decision.
Okay.
Where are we going?
We're gonna go meet Master Urine.
You're none.
Yes, adventure.
You can all think Gaelic names. So Gaelic names,
Yeah.
and then I can pronounce this one. So that's how we get here.
On the way to the Wild Hunt place,
Okay.
Jacobus wants to ask Rafferty what he knows about the betrayal of
The
About
Wild
what?
Hunt's the one with the
Cut out.
the
Yeah.
betrayal of Arashni, or however that's pronounced.
Mhm.
Or does
And he was
Rafferty
asking-
know
Meanwhile,
anything?
Cag,
Yep.
take over my character. I appreciate that. It was fun to get to do a social scene.
Blowjobs for everyone.
That's not social.
Can I
That's
can
how
I
social
make
means.
Cag roll a shut
Maybe
the
I
hell
don't
up
want to
check?
be on his shoulders.
Silence is gonna be a valuable spell when somebody gets it.
So, you're Rafferty. Jacobus has asked you what you know about the betrayal of Arashni. Is that what you said, Jacobus? Were those your words?
The betrayal befitting of Arashni.
Oh, okay. A betrayal befitting of Arashni.
Is this something I would have heard about?
You can roll a history check.
Well, is Jacobus asking us about it? Like, do we know?
He's-
Or we
He's
even,
asking
I don't know if he was there. He was
Rafferty.
asking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, un momento. I will log back in for this roll.
I can roll it for you if you want, or
Yeah,
you can log
Please,
back in.
please
Okay.
roll for me and let me know if I know anything about this.
She just typed one in chat. I don't know what else about.
um. You have never heard that name before.
Sorry, Jacobus. Can't say that I have.
It's all good.
All right. So you guys head on over to the Huntsman's Hall, unless anybody else has anything.
Yep, see you guys later.
Later.
See you,
Bye.
says.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Is it actually
Pretty
called
good there.
Huntsman's Hall? Because I'm gonna rename it itself.
Yeah, it's the Huntsman's Hall.
I don't know how to rename it. I'm gonna write something new.
Oh, you know what? I think I can. Can I delete that?
I can
Let's
probably
find
delete
out.
it, but
Yeah. Okay. I'm just totally incompetent with Roll20, so we'll get there later. Okay. Anyway, so you get there, and the Huntsman's Hall does little to disparage the menacing reputation of the Wild Hunt. It's got these blocky, barren columns that replace kind of the architectural artistry present in the rest of the Autumn Court. The structure lacks windows and doors, leaving only this like open, wide, long hall lined with simple wooden tables and chairs. And the message is very clear in contrast with the rest of everything around. The Wild Hunt doesn't have time for games and revelry that the rest of the court engages in. This is a place with a business and a mission. You're immediately struck by the diversity of the inhabitants, though. There are Eldrin, elves, dwarves, dryads, gnomes, and animal kin that are all gathered here. They seem to lack any kind of cohesive uniform. Instead, they're kind of wearing whatever equipment best serves them and their purposes, though several are adorned with very primal trophies, bits of bone in their hair and claws hung from their necks and waists. Several had fashioned helmets out of these large bestial skulls, some with antlers, others these more like canine or feline like creatures. One thing that you do notice is that those who have sleeveless tunics, on their left shoulder, there is actually a brand, and it is of a broken arrow. And for that, I need Davi to roll a religion check.
can I help?
Sure, actually, you can.
I know religion.
So I get to roll it with advantage?
Yes.
Good, because I didn't do very good the first time. Oh, well.
Okay.
Vast improvement.
Pour it up there.
It's familiar. You definitely associate it with elven religion, but you're not entirely sure what it is. You can remember it from your studies, and you're like, okay, I know I've seen this before, and it gives you kind of a positive, not. Let's go with not evil feeling. But it's you're like, okay, this is there's something religious going on here.
It's not
with
a death
this
cult.
emblem. Yes. As you walk down the hall, you draw the attention of several sets of pitch black eyes. Everyone who looks at you, their eyes are just completely black. And no one engages you, but no one stops you either.
I will walk up to somebody that looks friendly, I guess.
Which is no one, but you can pick the
Okay.
closest.
Then I'll go to the closest person.
Okay, you go up and there's actually a dwarf that's sitting there. He's got this very long
I don't see him and walk
beard.
past.
I don't see him and I walk past. Oh my lord.
Hello there.
He's got these long braids, and he's kind of like slunched forward on his table, very grizzled look about him as he looks up. You need something.
Yes, we just came from the council, and we were asked to visit with a Master Yurnan. Is he available or here, or would you care to tell us how we can find him?
He kind of jerks his head to the back and left. He was in the stables last I heard.
All right, thank you. That's this way.
Awesome. Let's
So you
head
head
to
down
the
the hall.
stables.
I guess I go towards head that way.
You head down the hall a little bit more, and there is, kind of a wider arch that's kind of like a clear alternative entrance. And going down is in the general direction of where he jerked his super helpful head. And you head down the stairs. Kind of like following this like dirt path around towards the backside of the building. But you're actually met halfway by a high elf adorned in this leaf-like plate. His long hair is kind of this deep golden brown, and he too has eyes that are just entirely pitch black dark. He is actually leading two saddled, moss-covered elk, and he pauses as he sees you approach. Let me link him for you.
Can Keg turn into moss-covered elk? No.
Yeah.
He can.
I'll be tired yet.
He can.
Coffee.
So he pauses as you approach, and he looks to each of you. Unmistakable. The Academy.
That would be us, yes. Master Yernan.
Indeed. Very well. Let me tie these up, and then we will begin our discussion. So he kind of walks back over to the front of the building, and here he ties the elk up with 4 other of its kind, just kind of, like tied to one of the hitching posts, Wild West style. He looks back over to your group. Follow me, please. He heads back up into the hall. He actually leads you to...
Are
We
there
follow.
any other animals in the stables?
You didn't make
Oh
it
my
to the
God.
stables.
Damn it.
You were stopped halfway.
Ugh.
So...
That's called DM intent.
Oh, I'm gonna get in there.
So he leads you back up into actually one of the back corners of the room. And here there is this old square table, getting a good look now. You see that, that the tables that are in here are definitely worn. They've got, it's kind of like, high school desk style. A lot of them have obviously had like knives carved into them, idly or intentionally, and it's all just a little bit rough. And this one is littered with half-drunk ale mugs. Some of them have, got little bits of stuff floating in them. It's doesn't appear to be a very well-kept area. But he takes them and he kind of moves them aside to one of the nearby tables, and reveals underneath this inlay that is actually displaying a map of the Feywild. So,
We know where the fuck we are.
okay. So,
Hold on. We need. I think the.
is the fog of war on?
I can't see the eastern part. I don't know if that means.
No,
yeah,
I
that's
can see it.
intentional.
Okay,
can
I
see
figured.
it. Also, Earlith is going to be.
I don't know if yeah. Okay.
All
it's
about
There we
it.
go. Yay, color.
Okay.
She's
So-
gonna be. She's gonna be checking it out.
Okay, so OC moment. I have limited time, so things may be added, and they were totally there all along.
That's
Okay.
So, but this is everything
We
that's
had a
important right now.
moment's view. This is just what we saw.
So, just if, yeah. Anyway. So, he kind of pushes this to the side, and he goes, where we are headed is to the Morose Mire in the south. There's a trading town there called the Swamp Rose. People often go there to acquire and exchange exotic goods, generally from other planes. The weave there used to be very thin. It was a place where Feywild occupants would often cross over and slip into the material plane for an evening's night of play or adventure. We never discovered what was causing the holes. It doesn't appear to have had any source on our side. We assumed that they were being created on the material plane, but over time they did begin to slowly close, and as far as we can tell, they've remained so. But it seems like a likely culprit of a place where creatures could be slipping through, since we are having this recent barrage of strange entities. I also caught word in the tavern the other day that there appears to be someone down there that was selling creatures that they had never encountered before. These small, green-like bat things, claiming that they were pets, exotic pets.
Have you encountered any green light things?
Can
Have you seen anything? Yeah.
can Kagarai do a nature check or something to?
I don't think demons are nature.
But if it's a green bat thing, maybe
I think it's a green demon bat thing.
Is it a green demon bat thing?
You can roll a nature check if you want. Leo, you guys, I think it was Leo who did the Archon check part. Anyway, Leo, these sound very similar to the quasits that you encountered with the frog demon that you fought.
They were red though, weren't they?
I think they're. Let me see.
Okay. I don't know.
Oh, if they sound like those things.
My picture, yeah. Hold on. Let me see.
We can say
look.
they were green. I don't care.
Yeah, we get a D&D Beyond link. Thanks, our sponsor. So, okay.
Yay!
Yeah, they were these guys.
They advertised that Critical Role last night. I went to look it up, and the source book bundle is $250 on.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
It blew my mind. I was like, but if I already have the books, can I enter a code or something? And it's like,
Nope.
absolutely not. I'm like, well, that's never happening.
Yeah, these things were
So.
green. So they sound like these things?
Yes.
Because these don't look like bats, but okay.
We did encounter some of those earlier on the way. We were making our way.
Yeah,
to
they
the
don't look like
Court.
bats. That's true. So
These were with the Hezru?
that
Yes.
yes. You had 3 of those, and then the Hezru. Bat-like creature was a bad description. Forgive me. Totally strikes you. Totally strikes you as a closet because you can see through BS like it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
But, so he kind of takes
We did
points out the
encounter
most
a number of those with a larger creature, and we were making our way here to the Autumn Court.
Interesting. Well, then it does seem that the whatever is occurring is happening in the mire as well. There are strange things happening all over the courts, to be perfectly honest with you. But it seemed to me that this was as good of place as any to begin, given that it does have a history of interplanar travel. Though you are the experts, if you have any other suggestions.
I mean, it's as good a place as any.
That seems as likely as anything.
You know the locations of everything here.
I do. I am quite familiar with the region. We do quite a fair number of missions in that area, should we say?
What
So
would you say
that's
the
where it
time
seems to
of
be
day is?
focused on.
Oh, 2 people at once. Hold on. One at a time. Yurlith, what did you say?
No, go ahead with his.
Okay,
I
Leo.
just-
I said, is that the area that seems to be mostly centered on, or is it fairly scattered around all over the land?
We've, to my understanding, my only interaction with them have been what my brothers have encountered when we were out fulfilling our own oaths. We have seen them all over the land. If there is a high concentration in any given area, we have not made a note of it yet. Though every day, as more people come and encounter them, where there's conversation. But to be honest with you, we aren't currently tracking the density of their amount in any given region. That tends to be more a tendency of something the court handles.
And
Okay.
by your own experience, do you know any area that it seemed to be avoiding? Like, have you noticed any close to the court or winter court by themselves, or do they seem to stay away from?
Not to my knowledge. We haven't noticed any area that they seem to veer away from.
All right.
Okay. So to refresh my memory, we saw the corpse of a demon thing on the path from Breezes to the trading post.
Yes.
demon dog.
And then we also killed the Hezru to the east of the to the like the northeast of
Yes.
the trading post.
So yes, it was kind of the Hezru was
We were
I think
kind
it
of
was
this
pretty-
area walking through.
yeah. It was pretty directly west.
Directly west of the post. Okay.
And then you encountered the Dretch, which was kind of the dog thing, on the way towards the trading post.
Okay. So Earlith is going to point out where we have actually encountered things and then point at the Burrowsmire. So we have these places that we know they've been seen. Where are the other places that demons have been seen or encountered?
Is that scary?
My brothers have encountered them far to the north, near the Diamond Sea. I have heard of a few to the northwest, and he kind of gestures towards where the Treants are. But in my understanding, that appears to have a larger concentration of orcs at the moment. In the Winter Court, there have been a few sightings as well, but we tend to pass them. While we encounter them on our journeys, they are not our intent. It is not our intention to deal with these issues. As the conflict grows, obviously, as residents of the Feywild, it is becoming our issue as well. But we generally have missions that we have been sent upon, and it is our priority to ensure that those are dealt with. So we've noticed these things in passing, but it hasn't been our priority to keep tabs on where they have been occurring.
No, of course,
Okay.
that's not your responsibility. However, would there be any chance of us getting a copy of this map sent to the Academy? So perhaps, if not copies of reports and the like, at least somebody familiar with them coming and telling us where they are encountered, because getting a feel for where they are spread and arriving and being seen might be helpful determining a source for this.
We can certainly do that. I can set up a logbook so that my brothers can come and leave note when they do encounter these demons, and we will do what we can to send you the coordinates so that you might mark them on a map so that you can have an idea of where they're
And could a
being
scribe
seen.
or something make a copy of this map for us? Or
We can, yes. So we actually have several copies that we can surely part with one of them for your
Okay.
needs.
That would be awesome. What time of day is it currently? And
Perpetual
Dusk.
twilight.
I know, but I mean, like, you know what I mean.
when do
I
we
know
wake
it's-
up?
Yes,
Um,
it's still
I'm at-
perpetual twilight.
It's probably been about 5 hours since you woke up. Still pretty early in the day.
Okay, so when are we going to make this trip to the Morose-Mire? Which that just sounds like a foreboding name, in my opinion. But
It seems like a happy place.
and so when are we going to make our way there? I mean, do you need time to prepare? Do we need time to prepare? I mean, we've been kind of cooling our heels for a few days, just researching and things like that. Earlith is itchy to go. Let's just say.
Personally, it is my duty to travel light and be ready to go on a moment's notice. I am ready at your ready. The journey itself is going to take a while. If we travel by elk, it should take about 9 days. Should you choose to go by foot, it'll be closer to 19.
Are those the choices?
If we travel by what?
Foot.
Foot.
Elk
But,
or
what-
foot?
Elk or foot. Okay. Are elk or foot the only options?
Looking at the map here, there seems to be a waterway. Is there any boats available with nice cabins?
I could
fine lodgings?
inquire to that if you would be interested, but we would also need to find someone, unless if any of you are adept at seafaring or
I'm gonna look
utilizing
skeptically
vessels.
at anybody else.
I've just seen ride an elk.
Yeah,
Drag
I'm
me on a
thinking that.
boat.
Kegs into that answer here.
Personally, we tend to travel by elk, but I do not have any knowledge of sea vessels. But if that's what you would prefer, then we can see what can be
No, that's
arranged.
fine. We'll ride an elk.
You know?
And Cag will be able to turn into one.
Cag's like, fine, we're
I can already elk, but it's
Oh,
good.
okay.
For an hour.
I don't know how familiar you are with the Feywild, but I would suggest that you make any preparations for. I mean, obviously, there's the chance that we could encounter demons on the way. There are a number of other dangers that I am accustomed to, but I'm not certain your prowess at handling both navigation and whatever might cross our path. The Morose-Mire in itself tends to be a turbulent environment that has a lot of history that just simply does not seem to rest. So anything that you might need to arm and guard yourselves, I would highly recommend that you bring along.
We're fairly skilled travelers, but we are obviously not accustomed to your lands here, so follow your
Yeah.
lead on that.
Absolutely.
And we will just return to the academy and gather up what we need, and I think we are ready to leave.
Okay, wonderful.
I think.
Then
Did we get everything? Like, did
Yeah, like the
plate and-
armor and all
Yes.
that. I was
plate
just
and weapons and all that?
you've got all of that.
I don't even remember what all
Yeah,
we ordered.
nobody remembers what he ordered.
And we have because literally
I know I
nobody
got
took
plate
me.
mail. Is all I know.
Leah got a longbow.
Did I get a longbow? So
Yes.
I
You
need
got a
to sit-
longbow.
You did get a longbow.
Did Davi got some kind of plate?
Yeah,
Plate
you got
mail.
plate.
What type of plate?
I
Is there more plate than one kind? Or-
Is there
There's half
different
plate
kinds?
and
And
breastplate.
it's plate armor.
and plate.
Okay.
I don't know what I got.
There's half plate and breastplate. Yeah.
Joke's on you. It's
Just
actually
regular plate
ceramic
armor.
plate.
I just put it in as plate armor. Is that not what it should have been?
She got a stack of dinner plates.
Ha ha ha.
I don't know. Why are you asking me? Ask a DM what you got.
Yeah, I don't know that you specified.
Okay, it says no results found for a longbow on the
Are
eye
you
tab.
using one word or two?
2?
There's one word.
There's no.
Yes, one word.
It's not a long bow. It's a long bow.
Yes, a long bow.
Okay, it's just a regular longbow.
Yes.
It's a very nice longbow. That's very insulting to
pretty.
say.
It's got designs and shit.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I had it designed very nicely.
Did Jacob order anything? Did we order a bunch of leather armor?
I
Just
think,
the bone stuff.
yeah, but that's it.
How do I get rid of the short bow?
You don't get rid of the short bow. You still have it.
Okay.
Out of character question. Did we know in character that Breeza was a hag character?
I
Figured.
don't know. For some reason, I thought you rolled
Somebody
for that.
mentioned something about being a hag.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that either you rolled for it or one of the I think Respin told you that
So
she.
in
I think you
character,
guys
he
were
did.
like, yeah. I think Respin. I think you guys mentioned, well, we had a deal with Breeza, and she was like, I don't make deals with hags. Like that's a bad life move. So, but yeah,
We're good,
I am
guys.
definitely under the impression you knew.
We're good at bad choices.
So is
I just know
everybody?
I just know I ordered a bunch of boots. That's all. I also have a bunch of boots. Gotta
Boots
add
and
my inventory
clothes.
sheet. A bunch of boots.
So would it just be regular plate armor?
I think if it's something called plate, I assume that's what you got. It's the
Yeah.
highest level one.
It just says plain. It just plate armor.
Let me double check.
I mean, I already had studded leather.
Yeah, that's all I'm
I have
finding.
no
Yeah.
studded leather armor.
Yeah, but because breastplate plate and half plate is medium armor. It's not heavy.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, any of those three work depending upon what you're going for. So
And and you think you ordered a shield too. If you didn't add all this already.
yes.
Another question
Okay.
that's going to seem totally random and weird to everybody else. When we saw the Demogorgon firsthand,
Mm-hmm.
knowing what I know now, was that the Demogorgon itself or an aspect? Or do I have any clue?
Roll. Oh goodness. Roll an Arcana check. Okay. You can't be sure. To my knowledge, having not been involved in many first-hand demon summonings, but it was pretty darn convincing.
You were also eating a rock at the time.
This is true. This is true. To your understanding, when aspects have been summoned, they don't even necessarily take on the exact form of the demon. They could be, I mean, an aspect of anything. It's same as like if an aspect of a god appears, may appear like a dove, or it's all that whole kind of thing. It definitely seemed. It seemed you wouldn't go up and touch it to to see how real it was. But yeah, you're just not well versed enough to know for sure. So
we've learned nothing.
Well, not necessarily.
You're cutting out.
yeah, I lost you for a second.
Oh, it's not necessarily nothing. I think that what I've found out, you guys have no idea about, so I'll tell you in character if it ever comes up.
It'll murder you first.
Sure, go for it. Might be a better outcome than going wherever we're going.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
The studded armor the new studded armor that I got isn't any different than the studded armor I have on, right? Or that I had already.
it's prettier.
No.
I mean, other than being prettier.
Doesn't look like it's stolen off a corpse. So
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks more like it was made for me, but
The studs on the old leather armor, given that it did come from the Underdark, are probably starting to kind of like they're definitely decaying. It's looking pretty ratty at this point.
right.
But
Well,
no,
which is
stat
why I
wise,
wanted.
it's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've just traded that then for my new fancy, perfectly fitted studded leather armor.
Okay.
So we should head
Says-
out.
So
Guys,
yeah,
What is
anything
divine
else you're gonna
sense?
the what?
divine.
Sense. What is divine sense? It's on my character.
You can
but I-
use it, and you can like sense certain things within like a mile of you.
Really? Like what?
I think.
This says paladins.
Yeah, it's not
Wow.
divine sense. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's on my character sheet.
You-
It says
The rangers can do something where they can they can sense if there's like undead within a mile or fiends within or something.
yeah, if you click the little, if you click on it, it should put it in chat.
No, it doesn't have a clicky.
Okay, let me see.
You have
Just
primeval,
it's a-
primeval
it's called-
awareness is what you got.
It's called a resource. It's a class resource.
That is.
And I have 2 in there. I just don't know what it's for.
Did I get a weapon too?
Two.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you did. Yeah, because it had like a lot of it was made like out of knotwork, and so like the base part of the axe had like a lot of holes in it and stuff, and it was super
So I
frilly.
picked up
Everything.
battle axe, right?
Yes.
Okay. Add that one on my sheet.
I'm not.
Okay,
yeah, I see primeval
Games.
awareness.
Yeah, I don't know what that'd be. You don't have anything called divine sense.
I don't know. It's on my character sheet. I don't know what it is. Anywho, I guess it's not important then. But I do have a quick game mech question.
Okay.
When I roll for attack, when I roll for attack, does it automatically send the +2 to my attack rolls?
Try it. Yeah, should.
I just wondered if it was because if it's automatically because like if I roll for attack.
Your short bow did. I don't know if your longbow does.
Okay. I didn't know if it did.
Why
or
don't you
not.
just roll it?
How do I do that?
Click on the
Again.
longbow.
Okay. And it just is not clicking.
In the
Why?
attacks, not the
Oh, hold on.
inventory. Very good job.
Nice.
Way
no,
Way to
wait,
get that crit out of the way.
That's great. Just
Says
good.
plus
Thanks.
3
Does
dice,
not add.
+3 proficiency. Is she supposed to get an additional
She
modifier?
has the archery fighting style, so she gets +2.
Okay. Let me hop on my GM account.
Your short bow
Right.
is set up that way. I don't know if there's any specific way to set it up.
Okay, so while we work out mech,
Basically, yeah. So we say goodbye to him and go back and prepare.
okay,
Yeah, we're gonna prepare.
everybody
and I
prepare.
really
I'm also
am
gonna go to the bathroom.
so upset that I rolled a 20 on that. Shit.
Roll damage too while you're at it.
Oh yeah, let me do it.
There you go.
So-
Next attack's gonna be a 2.
17, 18 freaking points of damage. So rude.
Yeah, I put my thing here. You didn't take it.
Okay, you should be fixed.
That's mine. Get out of
I love glancing at the like little kid glimpses in the background. I'm like, oh.
here.
Why did the longbow come out as 2d8? Oh, it was a crit. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Whoa, did our power just blink?
No, there's a storm going on right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can hear the rain through my headphones, but for some reason, I thought I saw.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
been thundering quite a bit.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently I'm not observant. My passive perception is super low.
Mer, mer.
Okay. So, anything else? Any stuff, conversations? You're at the academy getting everything ready to go.
Let's
Are we bringing Rafferty?
do this shit.
Presumably.
I don't know.
he's having a rough day. Okay. So, Yernin shows up then with 7 elk. They've got some saddlebags and they're ready to go. And
Do we have? I'm gonna ask him. Do we, as far as rations go, do we have anything?
I packed some for myself.
I mean,
let's assume that we packed for going. I mean, Earlith is not going to let us go unprepared for trekking out in
she's
the
been
woods.
baking these 3 days.
No,
Okay.
Earlith has not been cooking, but she will have made sure that whoever's been providing us food has provided us travel food.
Okay. So you guys have,
I'm not eating berries the entire way there.
you've got jerky and trail mix for
That's better.
your trip. You're
Things.
in, slowly as you guys are getting ready, leads the elk over, a couple at a time and waits outside for, you to come out. And he's like, all right, are you ready then?
I
We
guess
are.
so.
Yeah.
All right. So he leads you west.
Casta, really quickly before I forget.
Okay.
The symbol that you mentioned about in,
You're
I'm
cutting
going
out
to
again.
be. Oh, can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The symbol that you mentioned in the message,
Yes.
I want to keep a very, very close eye out.
Okay. You can definitely do that. I like the dynamic of Jacob as like he's got like this side campaign going on. Okay. Absolutely. So then Yernin lead. Oh no! Why did you scroll to the top? Hold on.
I don't know. Why did I?
I
Okay.
didn't.
Yernin leads you guys west, out of the court proper, through the farm fields, and back towards the perimeter. As you approach the gigantic tree wall that you have previously encountered, it does indeed part for you, seeming to, kind of demonstrate that you are guests of the court now. And so once again, you head off into the pathless, cluttered autumn wilds. For most of the journey, you ride on your elk, who seems, pretty adept at maneuvering through the brush and the uneven terrain. Periodically, you have to dismount and walk, leading your elk along through the where the forest is thicker. You find that the woods are alive, both literally and figuratively. You notice trees that seem to kind of like shift their weight and flowers that bloom as you pass. You catch periodic glimpses of humanoid residents kind of weaving between the trees. Most of them pay very little mind to you. And there's, of course, plenty of just like, this kind of nature-y wildlife frolicking about, covered in moss and grass and, very floral looking in its camouflage and markings.
I hope you've prepared a list of things that Kat has seen on
I'm
this
gonna
trip.
Probably the same thing as last time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
the
the
weather-
list is
Exactly
before
same.
Gag. There you go.
I just like front loaded all of it, so that we didn't have to cover this every time. The weather remains mild and pleasant, growing a little chilly in the middle of your journey, but it kind of shifts towards a muggy heat near the end. So to try a different approach to travel that will hopefully be less, frankly, burdensome, we are going to do a skill challenge. So the success and the speed of your journey is going to be determined by a set of rolls.
We're screwed.
We've already burned all our 20s.
You guys are going to make a skill check for each day of travel. So that's going to be 9 checks total. In order to make it to your destination in a timely manner, you have to pass 6 of them.
We're
Fails
screwed.
Fails will have consequences. That could be encounters, time delays, even raising the general DC of successes, depending upon the check.
Do we get to pick the skill?
You do. Urinin will not be rolling or assisting, but by bringing him along as a guide, you have lowered the overall DC rating from being a pretty significantly difficult journey as you just strike off into the Feywild trying to find, this swamp to the south. And now it's just moderately difficult because you do have a pretty reliable guide.
So,
Though he is still, yes.
before we do this, oh well, shit. That's not going to help. Never mind. I was gonna ask if I could cast Pass Without Trace as we go, but it only lasts an hour at a time, so it's not going to work for the whole journey.
Well, let's work with that. Hold on. Let me finish getting through. So, so yes, it's easier because you have a guide, but he is still escorting a rather large caravan of 6 foreigners through the dangers of the Feywild. So, here's how it goes. You can suggest a skill check you would want to do, and all you have to do is kind of like justify as to how it would be helpful on the journey. Every player can use that particular skill once. So like if Davi decides to use perception so that she can kind of listen out for any like growls or aggressive sounds, she can't use perception again to look for traps. But Urlith, on the other hand, could say, hey, I want to use perception to try to keep an eye out for traps to make sure that nothing holds us up. So 9 checks total. Some of you get to go twice. No pressure.
Well,
I'll
who's
do
going
perception.
first?
I'm gonna talk Irina into leading us better.
Okay. Okay. So you could definitely kind of like talk to Urnin and try to kind of get to know him a little bit. Try to persuade him to to get some kinship with your group.
Great.
Okay.
Perfect.
Notice she's not telling us whether we
he is,
succeeded or not.
As you kind of hang out with him, and he definitely leads the group. He's forthcoming with information, but he doesn't appear to be looking to make any friends. Keeps to himself on a lot of the journey. You'll come up and you'll make small talk, and he gives you very equipped answers. As you kind of try to kindle this relationship. Okay.
Okay.
That was a failure.
All right. So as I understand it, Leo cannot choose out of his 9 rolls. He cannot choose to use persuasion again.
Well,
We
you guys
9
have to
rolls
make
total.
9 rolls
don't
as
have
a
to-
team.
I don't have to make 9 rolls.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
So if he does a second roll, he can't do persuasion.
Okay, I'm going to can I do? I'm going to choose acrobatics because between
You gotta flip over the elk.
She's gonna stand on her hands on the elk.
during the times when we have to lead the elk on rougher terrain and things like that, it would be very useful to be able to navigate that dexterously. Thank
Okay.
you.
I think
On your
that's
hands.
an animal handling check.
Well, no, she could definitely use it to try to I'm down with it. I see what you're going for. We're cool with it. Let's go.
Okay.
I'm not particularly good at anything.
There.
Okay. And you do manage to, there. You do notice, like I said, that the forest itself seems to be alive. You'll be walking along, and then a root will suddenly just like jut up from the ground, frankly, looking like it's attempting to trip you. But you've got those ranger reflexes, and you're able to kind of like skip over, and you prevent anybody, kind of give them warning, and you kind of help prevent everybody from getting seriously injured, spraining any ankles, and that definitely helps your party to keep the pace.
Okay.
So.
Davi will do perception.
Okay. What
Just
is she
watch
looking out for?
She's going to be watching out for like anything that might try to be sneaking up on them or anything that just seems out of place.
Okay.
Everything literally seems out of place, though.
Really out of place. Okay.
Especially us.
So you keep an eye out. You kind of stick, towards the back of the pack a little bit. Just to kind of like watch and make sure nothing's coming up behind you, and try to kind of make sure that you guys can generally avoid, any pitfalls.
I'm gonna do survival
Okay.
and make sure we're heading in the direction that we intend.
Okay.
Don't suck, don't suck, don't suck! Okay.
Okay.
Yay.
So you kind of stay near the front with Yearnin for a lot of the journey, and you watch out. Make sure that you're kind of continuing keeping the moon to your right, as it were, and the sun to your left. And he kind of gives you a little bit of information too about not navigating in the Feywild, and through that you're able to learn, and you do manage to keep going the general direction that you intend to go. Okay, so that's 4.
Jacobus will obviously do stealth. Don't.
I knew it was coming.
And because he's wearing a cloak of elven kind, so it just makes sense.
All right.
Okay. All right. So you keep a little bit of a distance, kind of go around the party a little bit, just, you've got Davi who's obviously watching for things, and then you just kind of generally just kind of circle the perimeter of the party, as they go every now and then, just making sure that there's nothing, even further out. These little glimpses of people you see in the woods, you'll kind of go over and make sure that, they are just kind of passing by and not an ambush waiting to happen or anything of the sort. Do you guys want me to roll for Rafferty, or do you want to continue?
I don't know what he's good at.
I don't think he's
Yeah.
good at anything.
He is
Probably
good
like-
at he's good at what is
Let's see.
History and shit like that.
He's good at investigation, deception, and persuasion.
Can he lie to you and say right there and there?
Investigation. Well, investigation could be justifiable for making our trip more in a way. Can it?
He could definitely spend some time, as you walk, just kind of
Study the stars. There are no stars, so never mind.
maybe investigating, like, these trees that you do notice that are moving and the like, just kind of looking out for any hidden homes, anything that stands out as out of the ordinary as potentially a form of camouflage or this, that, and the other. So we'll do a roll for him. Okay. I hate rolling for people, man.
I'm so glad.
We'll blame Cessna for that one.
Okay. Okay. So that's 6 rolls. You've got 3 to
Does
go.
it use up the skill for the entire party, or just for?
Just that individual.
Okay, well, I was gonna say I could play something, but actually I don't have an instrument, so.
Good.
I do. You want to borrow my loot?
I think you're turned off.
You want to borrow my loot?
I was going to say, I could do an insight check just to kind of make sure that everybody's actually doing what they're supposed to be doing and we don't have any traitors in the party.
Jesus.
Otherwise known as I
Jeez.
insight check Rafferty.
I was just gonna do that every time after you get here, huh?
You could you could insight check Yearnin to make sure that he's being honest with you and his intentions of where he's leading you and everything. Yeah, we can go with that. Okay. So, your experience, I believe it was Respin who told you that, nobody in the Feywild seems to out and out lie. And that seems to be holding true. Yearnin is definitely not, he doesn't seem particularly cold, but he doesn't seem particularly interested in being your friend. This is business. He is, a little reserved, a little guarded, but not deceptively so. Just kind of, maybe just a little bit of a dour personality.
There's time. We'll win him over. I've met
Okay.
dwarves like him too. They can be kind of cranky. We'll win him over.
So,
I feel like
to
Jacobus probably has the better skills here.
Could I do a deception like
How
know,
would that help our
uphold-
journey?
upholding the view that we are the academy and unofficial business?
sure. We can,
It's not,
yeah.
it's not really a lie anymore. Somehow that happened.
Well,
Okay. So, you spend, some time, just going up to Leo and Davi and, different members of the party and mentioning, some of the things you've encountered and just kind of, like upholding, especially with the things that you've been investigating lately, this kind of just keeping these little bits of comments, like, well, the signs of a demon and blah blah blah, just like little one-offs here and there, just to kind of reinforce this idea with Urine and definitely keeping him motivated that there is the promise of help at the end of this journey and kind of boosting his morale to keep you guys on track and moving forward. So
I'm gonna steal earless loot at the campfire at nights and
Well, I was gonna
And
say I can roll again. We have one more roll, y'all. Do you want me to roll? Because I could roll animal handling and make sure that our elks are staying.
Are you
well
good at
fed.
animal handling?
Yeah, I got a +5.
Okay, do
Yeah,
that.
go for that.
Or survival.
Yeah. I have +5 in survival, or I have +6 in stealth. So I could do a stealth again since Felix has already done stealth, but I could still do stealth.
might as well do the best bonus you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then I'll roll stealth again, to kind of also.
You can
make
kind of fly ahead and
Could-
stay
Could, could I let her borrow a cloak of elven kind for that?
it's pretty circumstantial, so I'm gonna make her roll with what she's got. But it was a nice thought. Bonus points for friendship.
So don't they have
Bonus
to
points
attune?
for-
Well, doing a 9-day movement, we can probably attune it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay. So you
Shut
stealth
up,
ahead.
Felix.
You and Felix together, kind of taking turns, and you and Felix, listen to me, you and Jacobus together, kind of taking turns, one off and here and there. You try to kind of keep an eye up of what's coming up ahead, and kind of pause anybody before you come across any pitfalls. And for the most part, you guys have a pretty successful journey. You have Urine guiding you and stuff. There is one point, Eurolith, whereas you're coming up and leading the way, that you notice this gigantic mound of butterflies that are just kind of clustered on the ground.
Alive.
Wow, that seems alarming.
Just keep
Just
swimming.
butter-
Just keep.
Living.
Yeah, I mean, I low-key want to check out the butterflies, but
Butterflies!
but
They're pretty.
That's the Feywild version of Mound of Magic.
no, this is a Feywild. I'm not so sure that these are pretty.
As you begin to kind of stealth forward, unfortunately, there is a twig that snaps between your feet, drawing their attention. Oh, which one
Fireball.
am I? Is it this one? Yep, here we go.
Kill everything.
So here we go.
Roll for initiative.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Can we get a surprise round?
Unfortunately, not.
We get experience. We get experience.
Let me make sure I
Unless
don't
they
have
kill us.
fog war.
No, that'll never happen.
TPK on butterfly.
This would be Malpar for the court.
Campaign over. Like,
I mean, it would almost be
butterflies.
worth it,
They're
Okay.
blood-sucking
So let's see.
vampiric butterflies. We all turn into
So we
Why?
It'll be
tell
like
you-
the guy on
Why?
Magicians, where we're just like our heads gone and we're just butterflies.
Why so many little things that cannot be shot with arrows?
You
Like,
shoot him with arrows.
I-
Just don't.
There's lots
don't
of
suck
them.
at
You can
shooting
get
them.
something eventually.
Okay, that's all you guys. Okay, Cog, why aren't I snapping to squares? Did I
Because
do that?
when you
Did I do
initially
something?
drop them, they just go
You do when you
wherever.
drag it.
Oh, okay, so it'll fix that.
Yeah, once
Okay.
you move people again.
So yeah, I'm gonna need you guys to roll for initiative.
Well,
Actually, I don't know. Great initiative.
I did did better than you this
Oh
time.
man. These stats in for these guys.
Not so bad.
mediocre.
Oh, it wasn't clicked on me when I did it. Darn it.
If you just like re-roll with it in there, I'll change it to either 15 or whatever. Okay, here we go. I'll change that to 15. I didn't actually give these guys stat blocks apparently.
That means they're dead. We won.
So right.
Great success.
So that's okay. I've got their sheet. Yeah. So they got a 17 and a 4. So let me. How do I add something?
How did a amount
You
of
click on
butterflies get two
right
rows?
click on them, and then right click, and then add to.
Let me see. Hold on. Did that work? That worked. Hold on. This one will be 17, and then butterflies 2. Add is a 4. Okay. So.
We cannot die by butterflies, guys.
I mean, they're just butterflies. How bad could this be?
So, Yurlith, you move into the clearing, and as you do, there's a twig that snaps, and you watch as they both raise, revealing underneath them these corpses that have just kind of been shredded, and parts of them are just kind of like almost liquefied at this point. And you have definitely disturbed them from the activity they were engaging in. What are you doing? And you guys can move around, of course, to wherever you
I
want
mean,
to be.
the goal is not necessarily. I mean, can we get a better description of these butterflies? I mean, I'm gonna move a little bit closer, but not terribly close.
They have
because
big, sharp teeth. Murder them.
I'm gonna move.
Okay.
I'm gonna move to about there.
I was diving
Okay.
up
So I'm
and
still a little ways away from them. And I'm going to just
You're
try
turned
to
off
get
again.
a better look at them.
Okay.
Because I don't necessarily, and
Wait,
I just feel like I need to know more. I mean, are these like? I just don't know what they are.
did our
Roll-
archer just try to close distance? Is that what's happening right
roll a
now?
nature check.
She's gonna run up and poke the murder
You
machine.
can roll either a nature check or an investigation check, depending upon, if you're trying
I'm
to
trying
get a
to find-
closer look at them or determine.
I'm trying to determine if they're a danger to us. I'm going to guess that they are, but
So-
against 8 to 2 people? Yeah.
A nature check will kind of tell you if their behavior is what you would expect from butterflies. An investigation check will allow you to kind of get a closer look at them, depending upon what you're going for.
yeah, nature. Let's do nature then.
There's a bunch of dead people.
Besides the butterflies, kill them anyway.
I don't need a nature check to tell you that shit's not normal.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it doesn't seem normal, and I think that we probably need to get a better look at these corpses too. So we should get rid of the butterflies. Have I used up all of? I haven't used up my action or anything, have I?
Unfortunately, the check was your action.
Okay.
Freaking Leo had to roll the lowest.
Okay, then I get a
I
bonus
still got
action,
fireball,
right?
wherever you are.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do get a bonus
Okay.
action.
Okay. Then I'm gonna
Really?
cast Hail of Thorns,
Okay.
and
Leah's bird is not on the.
Ooh, good call. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna stick your birdie over by you for now. Obviously you can.
okay. I'm gonna cast Hail of Thorns at the butterflies. Obviously, and I cast.
Which reminds me, just for future times, Leo, if you ever want Stick to make checks on your behalf during travel and stuff, like he can totally, like he can make checks too. So.
Okay.
I forgot.
I presume my bird can too.
Yes. Yeah, because there are definitely things like in terms of like perception that he could call and like alert you to, So
This
Well,
Leah's
they-
bird call.
they-
You
She
know?
can't communicate with him, so there's no.
Well, she can give
Well,
him orders and tell him.
she could like instruct him to like it could have the kind of thing of like, fly but come back. I mean, it can't tell, northeast,
It
like
can't talk, but I assume it's basically a super intelligent bird.
But it could probably alert in some way, or
Yeah.
make a noise. Okay.
Help keep watch at night or something.
I'm gonna cast Hail of Thorns at level 2.
Okay, which set?
What's that?
Like of butterflies? Which?
Oh, are there 2?
There are 2. As you watch them fly up, they actually kind of divide into 2 different masses.
Whichever one is the nearest to me at the moment.
Okay.
Then. And then I'm gonna move. Once I have done that, I'm gonna move back a little bit.
Okay. Okay, so it's a DC 13 dex save. That is going to be a fail, as it makes it 10.
When you cast Hail of Thorns, if you read it, you got to hit with a ranged weapon attack first, and cast it at the same time.
Do I?
Yeah, Hail of Thorns is a bonus action, so you make an attack.
But I can't make an attack because
gotcha.
I already used my action to do the nature check.
Right, so you don't have an attack, so you can't cast Hail of Thorns.
Okay.
Bummer.
Just got hit with it.
All right.
So that is. So I have nothing to do.
How did butterflies get 34 all of a sudden?
Yeah, what happened there?
Okay.
I have no idea what's up with that. Okay, Jacobus, do you want to go first? Just as players, we'll give players the advantage over NPC rolls.
I mean, you could Hunter's Mark one this time, and you can do Hail of Thorns next turn.
That's true.
So I don't know exactly
I'll go
which
ahead.
one.
Okay, I'll Hunter's Mark whichever group is closest.
It's hard to tell where the one starts and the other one stops.
Yeah, there's no way to tell the difference.
I assume
Okay.
there's one there and one there.
Hunter's Mark.
Yep. Okay, Hunter's marked. Jacobus, on to you.
All right, whichever group I'm closest to here.
Okay. Group number 2.
Do you get sneak attack because you haven't moved?
I get sneak attack because I have advantage on which I have.
All right, and that hits.
That does it.
That does hit. Okay, so you come at them, slashing with your daggers, but obviously being butterflies, they're kind of hard to hit. You do manage to nail a few. You definitely take a couple down. Does not hit quite as, doesn't offer the same sound hit that it would from, like a single entity. But
I love the idea of stabbing butterflies.
but you do manage to do some damage. Anything else?
So if I attack with the demon,
Oh, you broke up for a second.
if I use the demon claw in my other hand, is that a bonus action or?
Yes, you can you can attack as a bonus action with it. You don't get your dex added to it, I don't think.
I
Let's
don't
see.
know that.
Isn't that what the feat does?
I honestly have no idea.
It was.
You don't add your ability modifier to the damage of the bonus attack unless the modifier is negative.
Oh
That's
man.
I'm gonna try to hit with the demon claw, anyways.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't mean the advantage, but
That's
that
okay.
should also not have the +4 from dex, so that's a 14.
Okay. Unfortunately, that does miss. So
Plus
come
4
with the
from
second time.
Yeah, you get the attack if the damage doesn't.
Oh, the damage doesn't.
Yeah,
Oh, so it is an 18.
Okay. Yeah. Then that does hit.
No sneak
so you just
attack.
take 4 off that.
Okay.
Do you get sneak
So you come
attack?
into medium?
You don't get sneak attack on that one.
No, I
Great.
only sneak attack once in a round.
So you would get that's 4 damage, right?
You'd come at him again, catching a
Yeah.
couple. Taking some down. It does indeed feel strange to be swinging at butterflies.
Perfectly
brings
natural
us-
for me.
to
Your
their
butterfly's
turn.
having issues.
They are actually going to kind of hover together and fly over towards Urlith for 1, 2.
The
Or like, it's about
archer
10,
that close
15,
distance.
20. Okay.
It's a melee archer.
They are
Initiative keep
going
getting
to
doubled?
swarm you. Why? Yeah, what is up with that?
Roll 20 is weird.
I genuinely don't know what's going on there.
Wait, what happened?
Their initiative
My
keeps getting
initiative
doubled every
keeps
time you do
randomly
somebody else down.
doubling. Okay. Anyway.
34.
Yeah, right?
Can I take that instead?
Okay. They are going to absolutely just swarm you and kind of engulf you, Yearlith, for, oh my goodness, 22 to hit.
That hits.
Yeah, it's the courtesy, it's the D&D courtesy. But okay, so that is going to be sorry. Where did I put it? I'm so sorry. This does not seem right.
Did you just kill her? Is she dead?
No.
We're about to
she's
get
just at 0.
Fucked up.
Okay. Okay. That is going to be 6 points of damage. As they just kind of swarm all over you. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Which day of our travel is this, by the way?
Let's go with like 6th.
Yeah.
You're getting pretty close.
Goodness. Okay.
Okay.
My 6
And a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, I didn't know I had to do a Constitution saving
Yes.
throw. Sorry.
Yay.
Okay, that passes. Okay.
Thank goodness.
So as they bite you, you can definitely feel that the same, you notice that the corpses are kind of dissolving, and you feel this kind of like pulse. There definitely seems to be a certain sting to their bite as they pick at you. But you manage to kind of like shake it off. Papa. Sorry. Anyway.
Your dog.
I bet the tree shook or something, so it made like the Ring doorbell do the, like motion detect at your front door. So anyway, you managed to just kind of shake it off without taking any real damage from the poison or anything. Okay, that brings us to you, Davi.
So there's one group on her and one group that's not.
Yes.
You are not in melee with any of them.
Yeah. Just debating what to do. Actually, what I'm going to do is cast Shield of Faith on Earlith,
Okay.
which gives her a +2 bonus to her armor class.
Okay.
Woo-hoo.
What did you do?
Sorry, I bumped the lantern. Lamp. I don't think I can do anything else.
That's a bonus action. You can attack them.
That was a bonus action. Okay, good. Then yeah, I will.
Or cast a cantrip.
I mean, either way, it doesn't really make much difference. I'll do.
Go smush butterflies with a warhammer.
Huh?
Go smush butterflies with a warhammer.
Yeah. I'm gonna go try to smush some butterflies. See what I can do. Alright. I don't think the battle axe will do as much, so I will use the warhammer. I will give it a good.
That hits. Okay. So you come to them, you manage to catch a few and just absolutely smash them. But much as with Jacobus, it's not doing quite as much as you would have liked. But you're slowly culling the herd. Anything else?
I can't do anything else, I don't think. I just moved up because I had to hit him. So.
Cag?
All right, how long have we been traveling at this point?
6 days.
And it's 6 days, but how far through the day?
Okay. Hold on. Let me math.
I mean,
well,
well, you
no,
know
it's
what?
okay. Hold
Don't
on.
even worry about it.
No, it really is okay. It really is okay. Okay, so you can move 50 miles a day, so about 300 miles.
Today?
Oh, no, you mean just like through the day?
What time of day is it?
I thought you meant since you left.
Yeah, I'm asking the Leah question of what time of day in this day without time.
Okay, let's go. It is just past lunch.
Okay, thank you. I could have done the multiplication myself.
I didn't
I
know.
thought Kagos was leading up to the world's longest charger.
So
I don't know where we're going still.
So I am going to try out my new focus bracer things,
Okay.
and I am going to send an electrical charge through them and raise my hands and face to the sky and call lightning.
Okay. Let's do this. Which one? The one by Davi or the one on Urlith?
I am going to do the one by Davi.
Okay.
Do you have lightning's number?
All right.
So it's a
So
DC 14 for half damage.
yeah, they
lightning.
fail. Okay, so that's 12 damage. And this, you do watch as it carries from one to the other, and it does have the full impact that you would have hoped for. So you watch as they kind of, it's almost kind of pretty, they just kind of like light up for a moment. And you can see, like it's like an X-ray, very scientific, very interesting. A few of them drop. Yeah, a few of them drop. But yeah, they still looking pretty determined.
Okay,
Leo.
there's a persistent storm cloud above, so
Guys,
Okay.
I really want to fireball him.
do it. I just burned a 3rd level spell, so
Okay, so
why the hell not?
question with a fireball. It's a 20-foot radius. Can I aim that like behind it so that it hits like
Sure.
the back area of this?
Yep. Just show me where you want to aim. Where, like, just
Pretty
click
sure
where
there's
you
a radius thing here, isn't there?
know.
I don't know, but you could always, do
That's huge.
That is a huge amount of space.
It's fireball memes, man.
So if I hit like right here,
So right where
Okay.
mine is, that's gonna hit them
Hello.
both.
okay, so without hitting anybody else.
Okay.
So I'm gonna cast a fireball there, just because I have it.
Good lord.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
DC
So-
15 dexterity save.
Okay, so the first group on Urlith makes it. The second group by Davi fails. So that's half damage, right?
Yeah, so that one takes 15, and the other one takes 31.
Okay. So that does a number on the ones by Davi. There you've definitely at least halved the swarm by this point, and you watch as their wings just kind of sizzle and disintegrate as their little bodies
Yeah.
fall. You also
Stupid
notice that the
butterflies.
two corpses that they were
Oh,
working
no.
on, presumably devouring, had begun to smolder. So
That's all right.
that brings us to the second group of butterflies. They are going to attempt to multi-attack on Davi. The first hit is 18. The second one is 16.
I have an armor class of 8.
Okay. So then that is going to be a total of 6 points of damage.
Okay.
As they, just kind of like the same that they did with Urlith. They are going to, just kind of like swarm over you. And because you're armored, because you are wearing plate, they can't get at a lot of you. The places they can get, you do begin to feel, these different little bites. And I also need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Okay.
Rainbow fireball.
Unfortunately, that is a fail. So you are currently poisoned.
Okay. Well, do I get a bonus to poison?
Yeah, she has advantage on poison
Yep.
saves.
Oh, okay. So go for it. Nice. Okay, so you were not poisoned. Correction. Okay. That's going to end their turn and bring us back to you, Urlith.
Okay. Well, it seems really so. Isn't there a limitation on me firing if I am flying?
You have
Yes, you roll with
disadvantage if you're
disadvantage to
flying,
I
hit.
roll a
or if
disadvantage.
you're firing in melee.
Okay, I feel really stupid, but I'm going to unsheath my rapier and swing
Yeah, yeah,
these
yeah.
Okay.
because
Fire breath.
I mean I
It's
don't.
true.
Well, I mean I could do
You can get both of them.
lightning. I can only use once a day though. The breath weapon thing. So
But we're in the middle of traveling. We're probably not going to be
Yeah. I figure this is probably our only battle today.
okay.
past us like 15 more.
You know, they do say that 5e is all about attrition, so.
Yeah.
Well, it's a 5 by 30 line. So if I do it, it has a.
If you do like this, yeah.
But if I
Yeah,
do,
you'll be able to hit them
if I
both.
do it,
If you do like that, you'll be missing your bird, I assume.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can miss your bird.
So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to breathe fire then.
All right.
You don't breathe fire either, so
I mean, breathe lightning
yeah.
at the.
You know what? I actually misread something. They have a vulnerability to fire, so yours should have done double damage, right, Tab?
Yeah.
So these guys
Ladies'
are
Day.
actually dead.
Oh well,
Makes a
then
difference.
So
let's
excuse
let's
me, and
go
Davi.
through my roll then.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Davi, you did not take any damage, so you can add back those 6 points. I apologize. I completely missed that. So you just completely obliterated. They just like completely just like cinders and ash falling onto these now
Gadoosh.
smoldering corpses over here.
Do
Okay,
the
so I'm
butterflies.
gonna give up the. I'm undoing that roll. Act like I never did it, because it makes no sense just to waste that on this one
No.
little
Right.
patch.
Better
So
to staff the butterflies than a rapier.
yeah, that's what I do. I'm gonna try to run my my rapier through as many of those little bugs as possible, and
It looked like Cag trying to catch that fly earlier.
I killed that thing.
You
Why
did.
don't I see Cag anymore?
I don't know. I
okay.
don't see him
I don't
either.
see Leo anymore.
16, does that hit?
Yes, the 16 hits.
Okay, and then
And I lost Davi.
She
How'd we
reconnected.
connect?
Okay.
But I
Points
still
of
don't see
damage.
you.
So you go and you attempt to spear through the swarm, and you do manage to catch one. You know, that's now kind of stuck on your rapier. But as with the other attempts at like daggers, this, that, and the
Does
other,
Hunter's
it's
Marks
just not.
work with melee?
Wait, come one more time.
Does Hunter's Mark work with melee?
Sure.
Ooh, I
shouldn't
don't
it?
know.
I don't
I
see
don't-
why it wouldn't.
Yeah.
It could-
Yep. Okay. So add Hunter's Mark.
Also, you can use your
So 1d6.
yes. Click Hunter's Mark and roll damage for you,
Where do I? Oh,
like you cast it. So
do.
Okay. So
also, you can use your bird reaction to make an attack as well when you make an attack.
Yep, she hasn't been playing the bird turns.
Yeah. Well, then
Well,
let's.
bird was in the melee last time.
Can the bird make an attack now,
The
or
bird
have I used up?
has its own turn. its
Oh
own
yeah,
attack.
you need to roll initiative for the bird. But yes,
So, how do you feel about? I mean, if you want to, I'm going to give it your call on this one. You can either roll separate initiative with the bird, or we can just tie the bird's initiative to you, so that it is less for you to track, rather than 1 turn, 2 turn, 1 turn, 2 turn.
Yeah, that would be easier for me to keep up with, because you guys know. Okay. So if can I have it attack or no?
so the bird gets its own turn, its own attack, and when you make an attack, the bird can use its reaction to make its own attack.
Okay.
So
So
if
basically,
it's a
the
bird's
bird's
turn
gonna
now, you
attack
can attack
twice.
twice.
So yeah, I'm gonna have the bird attack then, since since I don't have anything else to do. I can't do
Okay.
anything else at the moment. I've already done everything I could do. Then Kiabal's going to attack. And how do I do that? Just click it like I do the others. Hold on.
I assume.
She has beak attack, so
She's gonna eat.
yeah.
Okay, that hits.
Okay, and
Dinner.
5
All right.
piercing and 3 piercing.
She watches, he just swoops down and just actually catches a couple, and flies back up into the air, just entirely devouring them.
You can make another one too.
Good bird, good bird.
You can make another attack.
He, she, they.
Yeah.
She can?
She.
Yeah, he gets an attack when you attack, and it gets its own
a
attack.
she. Okay.
Okay, she.
It is a she.
It.
Kibble.
And then
Okay, that misses, unfortunately. She dives down again, attempting to get some, but this time they kind of split. They do appear to have a higher intelligence than the run-of-the-mill butterflies of the material plane. So she misses this time, but you watch as she goes back out, ready to circle around, coming right back soon. Anything else?
no, that's it.
Okay, Jacobus.
I will attack them.
Okay.
Ah.
Backstab that butterfly.
So you go swing at them, but I mean, they're these itty bitty butterflies, man. What are you gonna do? It just kind of, the wind itself seems to push them out of the way as you go with your ferocity, and it just kind of shoves them to the side. You come again, and once again, just the sheer force behind your blows. It's just they can't even handle the wind. You hear the whoosh noise of Jacobus's massive, bulky arms. Okay, that brings us to the butterflies, who are going to
have a 34 in initiative.
You're right.
The fuck is
I
that?
have no idea why it's doing that. Are going to attempt to multi-attack by Eurolith again. The first one for 19, the second one for 14.
The first one hits.
Okay.
Even with the +2?
Oh,
that's true.
what was it? The first one?
I think 14 and 19 and 14.
Yes.
19 still hits because I only have 15 plus 2 is 17.
Okay, so they're going to swarm you, appearing a little bit more desperate now with everything that's going on, and they're actually going to hit you for 9 damage this time.
Son of a bitch!
You guys better
Okay.
kill these quick. I'm gonna fireball again.
Hey!
With your lip. Okay, that ends their turn, bringing us back around to Davi.
Alrighty. I will.
I don't understand why all the little things are the things that kill me. Because
You close
Literally.
distance as an archer.
I moved away from them afterwards. I just wanted to get a look, and then I'm back away.
Let this be a lesson.
Can I hit them without hitting her?
Does she? Is she
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Even though a lot of them are on her, they are kind of swarming around.
Hold on.
It's not the same.
Hold on.
They're kind of
Hold
diving
on.
in and biting and flying away.
They're butterflies
exactly.
sort of around Earlith. Oh no, am I going to hit her? There's a fucking carpet wrapped around Kaganos. Let's kill that bitch. Really?
Well, you were padded.
That hits.
Might want to move up there.
All right.
Well, yeah.
You come over, you take a few, you manage to catch a couple, crush them
can't,
under
Apparently.
your hammer.
Let's switch
You're on
to
the
the
pointer
pointer.
tool. You need to be on the.
I'm what?
You're on the measuring tool. You need to hit the pointer.
Oh, that's what's wrong. I was like, I can't move. I don't know what I'm doing.
You can do
So
another
you do
attack too if
manage.
you want.
You do manage to catch a couple. There still appears to be a pretty sizable swarm.
All right.
Anything
I will
else?
use. Yes, I will use my War Priest ability to take another swing,
Okay.
whack some more of them.
Inside the disco.
Good job.
Cog, I'm going to make you roll with disadvantage.
Oh.
Unfortunately,
man.
that one hits.
Can I
You're
get
just trying to.
everybody-
What?
Oh, nothing.
Seeing you're lit there, you are trying to be careful, make sure you don't hit her. You end up just swinging a little bit too wide on this one, and you just don't quite catch any this
That's
time.
all right. I will use Channel Divinity,
Okay.
and I will hit.
Golly.
That's
Then
not,
I
a,
will
that's not a bonus
All
action or
right.
anything, is it?
float on that. Huh?
That's not a bonus action or anything, is it?
Channel Divinity? No, it just means it just says when I attack, I can
Yeah.
do it.
Okay, so you come back around. You do manage to catch a couple more of them, very slowly, kind of thinning out the group.
Trying.
As with the other attacks, it's kind of hard to catch them just given the very nature of them. Cag, what are you doing?
I am going to call down another lightning strike because I
Okay.
can keep doing this
am
shit for up to
resistant.
10 minutes.
If I am in the field of danger for that lightning, I am lightning resistant, just in case
So
anybody
it
wants.
does affect
So how does that
everything
work?
in 5 feet in a 5-foot range. Let me. How do I link this to the chat?
Yeah.
But I'm resistant.
I'm gonna aim at the back of the
Lightning.
group
Okay.
to kind of avoid everyone.
So like Hirsch.
Yeah, but feel free to include me in there if he's going to kill more, because I am resistant to lightning.
Oh my goodness, I am rolling like crap. They fail.
Good.
Yay.
I haven't rolled a deck save over 10 yet. So
Excellent. Continue doing
Okay.
that.
So you watch once again as they just absolutely light up in this, once again, almost like pretty display of just like their bright red and orange wings, and they're kind of, it's almost Feywild fireworks if they weren't trying to eat you. So
Fearless really likes it. So, okay.
Leo, back to you.
Oh my god, they're still alive?
They're still alive. You have definitely about half their number at this point. They're significantly less. You're watching the little corpses, gather on the ground. But
Throw a fireball right here. I can get all my friends.
No, don't. Why would you do that? Like, can you throw a fireball? Do you have any other? I mean, seeing as how.
I'm gonna cast a firebolt.
A what?
Firebolt.
Oh, I thought you said you were going to cast a fireball, and I'm like, what?
Wait.
Anything else I can do? Nope. Okay. Cool.
Oh.
Okay. So unfortunately, you go to shoot the firebolt, and it just shoots straight off into the woods instead, just completely.
Wow.
Oh, wait, no, is that for attack, or is that not?
That's attack, yeah.
Okay, yeah, just completely missing them altogether, with the lightning,
Fireball
just kind of.
Much better.
Too right. Anything else?
No.
Okay. That brings us back to the butterflies that now have 38. I'm so confused.
No.
No, is that the second one?
That's the second group.
They have 4 that have
Okay.
30.
Okay, I still have no idea why it's 38, but back to you.
It was 4, and now it's 38. So
it's bizarre. I have no idea what I did. Okay.
Okay, I am going to swing at these things with my rapier again, because what else am I gonna do? And then I'm gonna roll that.
And that hits.
And yay for that. And I'm going to roll down.
All right. To
And
go
then
once
the
again.
Hunter's Mark, so 6 damage.
Okay, you managed to catch a couple, not as many as you'd hoped. The physical, the attempts to like smash and slash, they're just not. It's hard. It's really hard to really get a good hit on these guys.
Okay, and
but their numbers are definitely dwindling at this point.
Okay, well, Cabble's going to react to my attack.
Okay.
And then do her thing, but it's not going to do anything.
Dives again, but especially if the numbers are thinning, she's having a harder and harder time managing to catch some of them.
Okay, so now it's her turn, right?
Yes.
So she's going to try again. She liked the taste of the first one, so she's trying to get some more. And
swoops around, dives, but again, just with all the people, all the commotion, their thinning numbers, she's just having a harder and harder time catching them. They also appear to be anticipating her, her attacks now. They're being careful to dodge out of the way. Jacobus, that brings us back to you. Maybe.
He did.
He keeps connecting, disconnecting.
Yeah. He looks concerned.
I was trying to switch to my computer, but it's not working.
Uh-oh.
It's okay.
It's your turn.
It's your turn.
Stab it in time.
Yeah, I'm gonna stab it.
Okay.
Gonna stab it. You think you'll hit it?
Probably not.
Hey,
Hey,
Okay.
you did a thing.
Hit.
do some damage.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So you come at them, and you manage to catch quite a few. You just swing at just the right time, and you pierce several, and they kind of stack up on your dagger.
Goodbye.
All right.
Yay,
But they're not dead.
Jackie.
There are
Still alive?
very few left. Just a couple lingering, diving in and out of your lith. That
Oh,
hit.
yay!
Can we phrase that better next time?
Yes!
Okay. Okay, someone remind me of sneak attack rules.
Bonus. So he does
Does he
not get
get-
sneak attack. He gets 2 plus 4 damage on that one.
Okay. Okay. So you come at them again, they're really, you're doing a significant amount at this point. They're definitely on less than a dozen left, that are still kind of fluttering around as that, all of their hive or whatever we'll call it, are slowly littering the ground below. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, so the last few that are left, Eurolith, just kind of fling themselves at you. Once again, doing a multi-attack. The first one, though, is only going to hit for 8, and the second one is going to hit for 16.
So neither one will hit.
Okay, and it is, you watch as they come, and especially you can't really read the body language of a butterfly, but they are definitely, this appears almost to be a coordinated attack. They all come at once, and you manage to just kind of, swat them out of the way.
And my spell made a difference.
Yes,
Yes, it
missing what you expect would have been a more substantial onslaught, than you had previously experienced. Which brings us to Davi.
Yay! I am gonna whack.
Whack 'em.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
that hit.
I'm with Kaga, though. It's a little shame that she's not hitting yet. Same time.
So that you come down and you watch us all kind of moving at once, attempting to swarm Davi, and you see your chance, and you just take them out in a line, crushing the last of them beneath your hammer. And the final group of butterflies crumbles onto the ground.
Dead.
That jawbone chomped him.
Yearnin, during all of this, is kind of lingering off to the side, watching, observing your tactics, kind of making note, doesn't choose to get involved. Just kind of,
You're not helping.
studying what you're up to. So
I forgot about him. Because we didn't really handle this very well. If that's the case.
makes
I did
no
just fine. What are
effort.
you talking about?
I think we did just fine. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
You killed
Okay.
all those butterflies.
All right, I've got lightning for the next 10 minutes. Who wants to take a ride?
You spent 10 minutes just lightning bolting ear now.
Go for it. Why not?
Sylvia goes stand in it and goes. Zzz, zzz, zzz.
Let's go inspect the bodies.
Okay.
Yes, let's.
I will look at them.
Little tiny butterfly.
Roll and
I'll get a shadow box out. Put a few in it.
start by rolling an investigation check.
Me?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, let's just make it a perception check. Yeah, if you're the one checking. it out.
Yeah, good idea.
Gonna help him.
Sure.
I'm going to do
Yeah.
an investigation check if I can.
Okay. Okay, so you go over and you look at these bodies, and it's strange. They are very grotesque. They appear bloated, covered in sores. But the thing that really strikes you is that there seem to be 2 layers of decay here. There appears to be a fresh layer where you can see this venom that these butterflies have been secreting is decaying the flesh, but there appears to be kind of an older element of decay as well. They smell very foul, and you immediately get the impression that they were likely undead creatures.
Hmm.
Oh, hey. Apparently, undead are my favorite enemy.
Yeah, you get advantage on attacking them.
I mean, but
Come over and stab him.
But doesn't my primeval awareness mean that I would be more likely to sense other undead if they're using
Primeval awareness is a thing you do. It takes spell slot.
Okay, that's fine, but isn't that something that may help us determine if there are more of whatever those things were around us?
Give me 1 second.
I think so.
Primeval awareness. By spending 1 minute, uninterrupted minute in concentration, you can sense whether any of your favorite enemies are present within 5 miles. So you can spend a minute just sitting there, spend a spell slot, and you can know if there are any other undead within 5 miles of you.
Sounds useful.
I mean, it seems useful to me. Do you want me to do that?
There's obviously 2 of them here. There could be more.
Okay, so
Actually,
I'm
I don't think
gonna.
it fire spell slot? Thought it did.
So I'm gonna sort of. I'm just gonna sort of seem to zone out to everybody and do a little concentration there for a minute and
You can also use this to basically communicate with enemies.
Okay. So, give me 1 second. I have to pull out a monster manual.
Okay.
Do you have a stat block for that one?
For what?
For primeval awareness?
I don't have it anywhere. No. I mean, I have it on my character sheet. No. Yes.
If you click it on your character sheet, it should link it in the chat.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. It's not anywhere I can link it. It's
thing I had is
Well,
your sheet.
this says
there.
what-
It is.
Okay.
What's your favorite enemy right now?
Undead is my favorite enemy. I don't have a favored terrain.
Okay.
Though. Apparently, I don't have a favored terrain.
Okay. So,
Okay,
you take a moment.
Did it change that in the revised ranger? Because that's different when it's on there.
What?
The revised ranger is the one I linked. The one you're using. I think they changed it. So it's not the same.
Yeah, I think there may be an inconsistency here. Do you link the revised ranger?
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever
I
tab
just linked
posted is what's right.
Yeah. That one doesn't require a spell slot.
Mine does.
Yeah, but
For 1 minute per level of the spell slot you expend.
Yeah, that's not applicable. That's not the ranger you're using.
Okay.
You just spend a minute doing it. You don't have to spend any spell slot.
Okay. I'm going to
So,
But this,
the area.
yeah.
you're a sense down and you try to kind of, like get a sense of the area. You find nothing.
Okay. That's fine.
You are okay. Hold on. Let's see if we can do rules by the book. Okay. You can sense whether any of your favorite enemies are present within 5 miles of you. Okay. We are going to go so far as to say that you don't even pick up an awareness of the 2 creatures that are right next to you. They don't.
But
kind
they're
of pop up on your radar.
dead now. They're not undead.
They're undead dead.
True.
So I mean, I wouldn't pick up something that was dead, would I?
Would she know if undead dead are usually picked up?
Yeah, is that something that I would know since obviously I had experience with things prior to
I think we're going to go with you even though they are currently corpses, I think you would still be able to have sensed their presence because for example, oh gosh, hey daddy, I have Tristan.
Oh no. Okay. Oh.
Yeah. I'm going to need you to come get him. What's wrong? Yeah. Hold on. Sorry.
You're fine.
What are you doing?
Sleep.
Did you wake up? We're very
Is
confused.
he actually awake?
I don't know. Okay, go ahead, Daddy. Okay.
Does any of your sleepwalk?
I mean,
Ars would walk into me, wake me up in the middle of the night, like, I want popcorn.
She'd come in and she's been asleep and she's still basically asleep and say, I can't fall asleep.
Like, oh yeah, go back to
Honestly.
bed. Okay. So,
Yeah, we frequently get the I have to go pee. I'm like, then just go.
Yeah.
You don't have to come ask permission.
Yeah.
You didn't have to wake me up.
she sleeps next to the bathroom, and she comes like right past it and into us. Like, can I use
Exactly.
the bathroom? Like, yeah, you walked past it. It would have been faster.
They literally have to go farther to get to our room to go back, and I'm like, whatever. Okay, so I think that that's it's we're gonna go with yes, that you would still be able to know that they had kind of been in the vicinity and stuff, because I think it would be unfair if your favorite enemy was like dragons to say well, there's a dragon just 2 miles away, but you have no idea because it's dead now. I
Right.
don't. Yeah. So we're going to go with it. They don't, despite appearing decayed and all of this, they don't strike you as undead. Knowing what you know even about this being your favorite enemy.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm
there's
going
something
to tell
different here.
Leo that he was wrong, that they were not undead. That, despite what he thought they
They're dead.
were. They're just dead. They're not undead dead.
What do you know?
I know about undead.
Obviously, they're undead demons.
You can roll an
Are
Arcana
they
check.
Are they
Can
demonic
I roll an
in
Arcana
nature?
check?
You sure
Can I roll an Arcana check too?
Sure. One of you can roll with advantage,
I don't know.
as you
Plus
kind
4.
of analyze them
Got the
together.
best, I think, doesn't he?
We both have +4. Go ahead and roll.
Blame the other
Advantage?
person. Yep.
I shall
I'm
confer
really
with each of us. Stand
confused
there.
about Jacob's skill set. He can roll an Arcana check, but he daggers people. I just don't understand.
It's just because
anything
Jacob
that's
has
going
like
on.
6 points more int than anybody else.
Jacob
He's
and Leo,
smart.
having both spent an extensive amount of time in the library researching, slightly different avenues, these are indeed undead. You are both able to recognize them as mains.
Main.
So-
Well, then
Mains,
why-
M-A-N-E-S.
So I don't understand that they're
You're
undead.
wrong.
How is that possible? How can I not know that they were undead if they are undead? If that
Because they're dead now.
They
get
are demons that they are very they are definitely composed of rotting flesh. They definitely have this kind of undead look to them, but they are actually demonic in nature.
okay, so they're not undead.
No, they are not undead. That's why they did not pop up for you.
That's what I thought.
Though they
Okay.
share a lot of elements with undead.
They share a lot of elements with something else too, but I don't know how much my character knows about that person.
What person?
We know that they're mains. That's interesting to me because
They're what?
well,
Manes, M-A-N-E-S.
do they have anything on them? Just dead, decaying bodies.
Just basically a lump of
Roll
flesh.
an investigation check.
Would me reading the book give it a mention of that? Oops. I haven't rolled one.
Yes.
How about that?
actually. Okay. So, you do, you unfortunately you have to get a little bit hands-on with this.
That's okay.
You start kind of looking them over. You don't see anything. You do manage to roll them a little bit, and on the back shoulder of one of them, you notice just like emblazoned from a branding, a very cattle-esque branding. You do indeed see a an image you've encountered before that is a scepter with a skull's head that is stuck to the top of it. So
Can I carve that off its body?
you sure can. Make a
Don't eat it.
ooh, make
Oh God, don't eat it.
Don't eat the
Why
raw.
do we have to worry about this?
let's make a dexterity check just as you try to, to see how what good of a job you do in terms of like keeping it. How skilled are you at carving corpses? You do a
Pretty
really good
skilled.
job. You manage to just kind of take your knife, slide it underneath. You don't catch too much of, the
I was
end
going to
layers of
say, I
skin.
bet he's
and pull it
really
off.
good at carving corpses.
So it is
Davi's standing there going, Jackie,
Look at
don't
that
eat it.
crap.
Jackie,
eerily
don't eat it.
impressive that Jacobus just like sticks it in, slides it around, and lifts off this piece of skin.
So he will sniff it before sticking it in his pocket.
Okay. It smells rancid.
Perfect.
What are you gonna do with it?
What was that? I mean, and so Earlith is going to be like, why? Why did you carve that off of the body? And what importance does it have?
The symbol is significant because it is the symbol of Orcus.
Of what?
Orcus,
Orcus
the lord of
is-
the lord of the undead.
Well,
Well, that's
I feel like
disturbing.
I should know that.
Can Davi make a religion check?
He was
Sure,
he
make an
was-
religion check.
He was explaining it to us.
Yeah, I mean, why bother with the religion?
Okay,
She might know more.
He doesn't know.
so you have definitely heard of Orcus. He is very popular among individuals who are interested in necromancy. Particularly those who might be attempting to obtain immortality through a like lichhood. And
I always say like two. I'm glad I'm
yeah,
not
I don't know which one it is. I'll Google it later. But you also have this moment where well, actually, never mind. Okay, no. Yeah, this is definitely somebody that you've heard of. It's a symbol now that Jackie has kind of found it and pointed out that you recognize. In terms of the cults and their dark dealings, you know about sacrifice, the typical kind of demonic stuff. But yeah, it's everything Jackie is kind of bringing up. It's like it brings up for you. And you're like, oh my gosh, this makes sense. So.
And Earlith didn't pick up any more undead.
undead. No, I didn't.
She did not. So,
Disturbing.
These are demons.
But these are demons. They're not undead. But that sign has
to
to do with undead, so that doesn't bode well for us.
Davi will tell all of this and make sure that Mr. Huntsman guy hears so that they know that we are experts in this crap.
I will choose to only believe
Literally,
it.
Jacobus was just gonna tell us about.
Well, she'll let Jacob tell all his stuff. She'll just add flavor.
I'll only believe Jacob's story.
all he was really going to add was that the Lord of the Undead was once a mortal man, but he evolved into a mane
Oh,
shortly after his death from doing
And he's dead now. Then
good service. Yeah, he evolved into. Well, is Orcus is dead now? No, these things are dead now. I'm
that's
pretty
a
sure
mane.
that.
Main's dead.
Wait.
Orcus is dead.
How how close is Master Urine in all this?
Unless you guys have called him over, he's definitely kind of giving you guys some distance. He appears very interested in kind of studying your behaviors, but he's probably lingering, kind of like back here, just kind of arms crossed, watching, seeming more interested in studying your interactions and your if for lack of a better word, he doesn't appear to be eavesdropping. He appears to be making constant insight checks. He's just kind of feeling out the group, like, who are these people? Are they genuine, And he doesn't appear overly, like, please educate me on demons. So.
Well, Davi's going to educate him on demons.
Knowing now that they're mains,
come on over, Aaron.
do I
And
know
it-
anything
Let's
usable?
talk about these.
More than he
you
ever
can,
wanted to know.
you could roll an Arcana check for it if you
With
want.
all my reading I have done.
Yes.
With all your reading. I'm so
Um,
proud of
with
your reading.
If you're looking for like the usability of the corpse, then you can roll with
Right.
advantage. If you're just kind of trying to see what you might know about mains, then just
No,
make a
I'm
straight
just seeing
Arcana
what
check.
all we can stuff in a jar and enchant something
Okay.
with later, basically.
Um,
23.
Okay. So, I do not have my loot notes, so you totally are able to determine what can be used and utilized for, like, spells and potions and everything. And I will have that for you at the beginning of next session because I have no idea where I put that document right now.
You can also say it's all
So.
useless. You know that.
Well, yeah, that's true. But that was a good roll. So, but no, I will definitely look that up and let you know. What is salvageable, if anything, from the corpses.
All right. And I will direct somebody else to cut it off.
Oh my god.
What am I cutting off?
Whatever
We
it is that
don't
Tab.
know
yet.
We don't know yet what it is, but you're going to
Casa
cut
doesn't have
it
the
off.
notes on what parts we can use, but whatever that is, you get to cut off.
Here it is. I bet. Okay. Hold on.
Or CAG, whichever one feels more.
No,
Fine.
Okay.
I mean, Jackie seems to like to carve things up.
Okay, so the mains, for one of them is just like a lot more decayed and destroyed than the other. The one that is largely still together. You're able to find, like just different elements of it that are decayed that definitely look like they can be used for the crafting of poison. So, kind of like this, kind of like a sludgy kind of decay underneath the skin that you can kind of pierce and gather if you want in like a vial or something that you can use later.
Did we get vials and stuff? I assume we got some stuff while we were in
Yeah,
town.
I mean, I'm sure that we got vials and things to collect because you were definitely getting all of those kinds of accoutrement.
I was. I have no idea what I. That
I have
session
no
might as well not
clue.
happen for me. I forgot everything we did.
So we'll
met some
say
very interesting shop people. Let's say that.
we'll say that you guys got that you came up with 3
I was
vials.
thinking of my fanny pack.
All right.
Yeah. So let's say that our little waist belt fanny pack things have like some little
Did you
pockets
also get a
with
fanny
vials
pack,
and
fanny pack
stuff.
brothers?
Fanny packs are now canon.
Yeah, I mean,
Leo's definitely getting a fanny pack.
it is
Leo has invented blue
100%.
jeans and fanny packs.
Yeah.
Leo is the 80s dad of the Feywild.
Yes.
So we got a vial of main sludge, basically.
Yes,
One
Just
vial.
one vial.
just one.
We
That
really
can be
need
used for poison.
Yeah, we really need to see about how we can make me like some cool arrows and stuff. We have to figure that out, but not right now. But at some point, I need some fun things.
Did we lose Cog completely?
I think so. I think he's somewhere holding a 3-year-old.
No, I'm back.
Oh, whoa! You don't have an image. Where is he? Is he in our bed or
He's
his
been
bed?
gone for a long time.
Yeah, he's in our bed.
Okay, that's fine. Did he go back to sleep?
He occasionally wakes up out of sleep to say, "I need mommy right now."
Aww.
I'm like, "Okay,
Oh,
buddy,
that's
I'll go
sweet.
get her." And I'll just like lay there and continue patting him.
Okay,
Kids are great.
so
All right, someone summarize what I
Trav said
missed.
that in a way that's
These are mains, which are demons from Orcus, which are like undead, Lord of the Undead, and then we
Well,
get
we
some
don't-
goop, and we got a poison crab.
Well, we know they're from Orcus because they're marked, but they don't necessarily have to all be from Orcus. Is that right?
Yes, they do.
you could roll an Arcana check.
I mean, I just don't even know. That's like almost pointless, but I'll do it just for the hell of it because it was pointless.
See, I'm the expert here. You believe me? I'm Orcus.
Leo's. I mean, he is the expert. He's the master of the academy after all.
Yeah, that's right. I'm in
All
charge
right,
here.
Master of the Academy, Master McQueen, it is.
Oh.
Jeez Louise.
Elsa Jean, don't talk back to me.
Listen, Elsa
Okay.
Jean. I am forever gonna be haunted by that name.
At least I picked something that kind of goes with my name.
Well, you
I
should
know.
have. If y'all wanted names, you should have come up with them faster.
Well, I
I
couldn't
did.
come up with. I didn't want to give my real name.
No, you didn't.
And I couldn't come up with a different name.
I solved it for you. Perfectly fine.
No, you
Everything's
gave
good.
me
I would have
a
named
country
you ill.
bumpkin. You gave me a country bumpkin name. I'm just so annoyed by it.
This is why you never let Tab name anything. I
Well,
name
at
all
least
his
it's not Bob
characters.
Barker. That's all I got to say about that.
All right,
So,
are we done with these
Bobby?
things?
Yeah,
Felix is saying
I
something.
think so.
What demons have we encountered? The Hezru, these mains, and what was the other?
The
Quasi-
Quasi.
Organ?
Mm-hmm.
The
And
Quasits
then
were with the Hezru, though.
Yes,
then what's
and
that
then
demon
And
dog that
what
was laying around dog?
That was that dog thing too.
that
What
was a
that dog?
Dretch. DRETCH.
That's
So
in a
you've
note
got
somewhere, I
Quasit.
think.
Oh, that's misspelled. Gosh darn it. Why can't I type? Quasits, Dretch, Hezru, and Mains. You also encountered, well, some of you encountered when you were in the Underdark, the large creature that was invisible at one point and walked back by another, but you did not get a chance to like roll an Arcana
Yeah.
check on it, but you would recognize it again if you saw it
The
again.
big monkey thing.
Yep.
Also, the 20-foot Demogorgon. Was there anything else with him when he came up? It was just him, right?
Not when he came up, just him.
Tentacles
Though
everywhere.
there were around that time there was a in the water there were these stingray-like creatures that had come to the shore, but they had begun before the Demogorgon rose. So
I just have to share real quick. So Annika was telling us today about she's got this little ghost finder thing on her phone, and she was talking about Ouija boards. Because instead of a U, instead of an O, she thought it was a Q, Q-U. They were Ouija boards, and I'm like, Klaus and I just looked at each other and cracked up. It's like, no.
oh, that's so
The wrong
cute.
thing. Oh my goodness.
All right.
From now
Well-
on, I'm going to picture Eurolist Detect Undead as her there with a Ouija board. You know.
Yeah, a Ouija board.
I assume we don't care
100.
about burying these things, so probably just move on.
All right.
I'm gonna head over to Yurn and it's like, do you have a bow or anything with you? Dagger, sword, club?
And I'll kind of pat the sword at his side and not for nothing else as explanation.
I mean, we don't really need a help here, but if you see things getting into trouble, if the mood strikes you, feel free to jump in.
I'll say, it'd be nice to know you have our freaking backs out here.
And I'll kind of look between all of you and listen. Shall we then?
Well, I guess we should.
So noted. So noted.
Continues on the way.
Don't expect me to heal you.
Call lightning. Call lightning. Call lightning.
Fireball. Okay. Well then, you guys will continue your journey. Yeah, and we'll pick it back up there next week.
Yay.
Yay.
All right, how much EXP?
Oh, okay. I knew that was coming.
You started saying
did
"oh"
anything
before
for
I finished
last
the
week or
question.
anything.
Shh. Okay, that is 600 XP for the night.
Did we get anything for last week? Or did we?
Yeah, we got some for next week.
Okay. So wow.
Yeah, we did.
So we're at
That's a lot of math.
Why, I don't know.
So we're at
10,250?
1,250.
I am totally not tracking the XP. So
Yeah.
So
How much was it?
10,250.
600 for tonight?
when's our next raise
So we're
up?
at 10 to
When's
50.
level?
We're at like 14,000. This one. I was writing. How much did we get? What did we get?
10
600.
to 50.
We're at
So we're at-
10,250.
Right, but somebody was supposed to get bonus points for friendship or something. You should give them extra XP.